Now I realize the thumbnail is still up, and that's on purpose because we didn't really do a dad joke. We didn't.
Yeah, I thought that's what that was. The sound of the modem.
Yep. So I guess we'll start with this is what I may have done this. I don't remember if I did it here on another stream, but why did the seaman cross the road?
To get to the other egg, I don't know.
Because I put on the wrong sock this morning.
Been there.
Been there. Oh, anyways, hello.
That's one of the dirtier dad jokes I've ever heard.
I know, right? Welcome back. It's the first of the year 2025, and what a better way to start off by a dirty joke from yours truly. Everyone in chat, hello and welcome. I know we have Madhouse Retro is here. He's shaggasming all over the place. I appreciate that, brother. Good to see you, man. Diana Francisco. I have not seen you in a while. It is great to see you. Hope you're doing well. Grant's here as well, as we know.
Hi, Grant.
And
did he just freeze?
Yeah, he froze.
Okay,
and
cool. I thought
Devastator.
And yeah, I can't bring anyone up. So yeah,
I'm glad he rebooted just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, me too.
There wouldn't be any issues.
Oh, there he is. He's back. Oh,
and he's
he
frozen
gone
again. And this is how it's going to go. 2025, awesome. Getting off to a great start.
Starting off great. We also have Red Skates. It looks like the name. That's here. Thanks for being here. Oh, there he is. He's back. Oh, he's gone.
Hey, look, it's Shags. Nope, he's stuck. Just turn off the camera for a second.
My internet sucks, apparently. We'll turn that off. Hopefully that'll help fix something.
Sure, just leave me out here on my own.
Yep.
On camera.
Yep. That's the way to do it.
That's how we do it. Sorry, guys.
Someone's got to be the eye candy.
I'm working on Wi-Fi, so and
we're working. You bring that grandpa energy.
Yeah.
Hey, Sol, how you doing, buddy?
Soul Assassin's here. What's up, Soul Assassin? Oh, Alpha's here. What's going on, Alpha? Good to see you.
I haven't seen Alpha in a while.
Great to see you,
I was going to say, a long time no see you, Al. Been a while. Glad to see you still vertical. Well, we hope anyway. You could be lying down.
I say it's really what I've noticed about this show. One of the reasons I suppose it's back, besides our reunion show being such a hit, I think, and just a fun time overall. It just brought a lot of people out. I think people really appreciated this show in the middle of the week. There's a whole bunch of other shows surrounding it. Before, we're kind of like the end of the night time slot for Wednesday. So it's kind of nice to, I think, end everybody's midweek. And then you got great shows, the rest of this week, Thursday, Friday. So appreciate everyone kind of giving us a welcome back a couple weeks ago. But the idea is to roll this show more and just continue it on. Maybe all we needed was just several months away, and then just kind of figure things out. We're going to be changing things up in that the format's not going to be as, I don't know if it's ever been necessarily structured. I think early on in the beginning we tried to have real set out topics.
Did we though? Did we?
It was chaos from the beginning.
Yeah, maybe that's its charm. But yeah, I think I think I keep wanting to say last week. I think what the last show kind of showed me was like if we're doing this again, I want it to be like that, funny, laughing, just kind of bouncing around, taking the piss out of each other, like all that stuff. Like that's kind of, I think, where our best shows were in the beginning was just mayhem. If you go back and look at some of the highlight reels of the initial show, it was just craziness. So,
oh yeah, it was. It was good.
But no, and so 2025, I just think it is perfect to have the first episode be, well, the return episode, I suppose, the reboot episodes being on the first of the year. It's just very, okay, now we're starting again. And let's just do it. Let's just keep going. But anyways, Brahma Bull's here. He's with us from the start this time. How you doing, man? What have you been up to the past couple of weeks? I know it's been Christmas, so everyone's pretty much been doing the same thing. But how was your holiday?
It was good overall. I mean, it was chaotic. We had like 20 people at the house, so I did a lot of cooking of very large cuts of meat, and a lot of shows and a lot of bourbon.
Hell yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah,
nice.
Arkasul asks, "What's up, Ark? Good to see you, Ark." By the way, he's been away in California on a brand new job. He's essentially like, I don't know if it's interning or interning is the wrong word. He's like, apprenticing, I think is the best way to do it. Say it. So he's finally out there doing what he's been trained to do to get more experience. So he's like 5 or 6 weeks on, a couple weeks off, and then back out again for 5 or 6 weeks. So congratulations, my friend, for locking that in. And this is a regular thing. We're back 100% every Wednesday, just having fun
with a random scattering of panelists.
Whoever wants to show up. Yeah. So anyways, Grant, what have you been up to? It's obviously not snowing down under.
No. I mean, as everyone knows, Christmas time is the time to go outside because it's hot and you play cricket and drink a lot of beer. So that's what we did.
Excellent.
Nice.
But instead of beer, it was bourbon. And instead of going outside and playing, I stayed on my computer.
Even better.
Yeah.
What kind of bourbon?
Woodstock it was. And I don't know I can't remember what it was. Wild Ball, sorry, it's called. That's right. It comes in cans, and they're like, I guess you'd call it 30 proof. Each can is. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, they get a little bit of a kick. So after you've had like 3 or 4 of those, you're just like, oh, I've just drank a bottle of bourbon. I should probably try and stand up or have a conversation. Usually doesn't go well. It usually starts off with me going in my head, hey, what are you up to? And I go,
yeah, every night for me, right?
And then but no vomiting this year, so yay, win.
The Devastator says we need more POC voices. What you guys got to do is you got to go to Twitter and at Epic Mike and Quarter Black Carrot and say, hey, we need your representation. They're not hitting their DEI quota tonight, so get on that. But yeah, a lot of fun either way. I said it's just not stuffy, just fun. Professor Savage Dad, I didn't see you in here before. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Professor Savage Dad's been busy as well, so it's good to see you make a little time for us.
Did I see that he made a gigantic prime rib today?
I think so.
On Twitter.
Yep, I was tagged in something like that.
I did one of those 2 Saturdays ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Bone in or bone out?
Bone in.
Yep.
Bone's always in, baby.
The full rack. The full prime rib.
Oh man. So we're live on YouTube, we're live on Rumble and Twitch, all 3 of them platforms. I still don't know if it's even worth I don't even know if Twitter's worth being live on,
Twitter's numbers are weird because it counts your concurrent views, like live views, as actual views. So like when someone or through the other way around. So if someone just sees it, it counts as a live view. So you're looking like, shit, I got 350 people watching. That's nuts. And then you realize that they got 2 on YouTube, 1 on Twitch, and then the rest of them come from X, and
Right.
no conversations happening on any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think what I'm going to plan on doing with Twitter from here on out, because I think it robs views, is I'm going to start on Twitter, but about 5-10 minutes in, I'm going to cut the feed to Twitter so that if anybody's watching, they have to, click on over to watch it on either Rumble or YouTube.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I think if you're like doing something exclusive on Twitter, like that, it might make sense to do something over there. But I think if you're streaming on Rumble and YouTube and Twitch or whatever, like, I think you're doing yourself a disservice by being on Twitter as well. Like,
Yeah, I think it robs views because most people don't watch anything on Twitter anyway. They'll see it, but if they can't click through to the YouTube from the Twitter, feed of it, then what good is it?
right.
But it does let people know that you're live.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, I think it has its use. It'll eventually have its use. Yeah, I don't know. Man, speaking of which, I feel like Rumble, the whole Rumble gaming thing was a real splash in the pan. With like Dr. Disrespect being over there. I haven't seen his recent numbers, but it seems like it's, I don't know. It was a big hype, and now it's like kind of.
But he didn't go exclusive. I mean, so some of his like part of it is exclusive, but he's still doing it on YouTube. So I don't know that they really structured a contract that really benefited Rumble all that much, besides getting to announce his name over there. But I mean, if they were actually going to do anything, they had to make him exclusive, and they didn't.
Yeah,
most people are still watching him on YouTube. I guarantee it.
Right, and he's not monetized on YouTube though, but obviously he still can get. I'm guessing he gets donations through
probably super chats and super
chats and all that
stuff. Yeah.
So no, if he's monetized, how can he get super chats?
No, yeah, so it's probably like through like Stream Elements or something like that. So he can get direct donations through like PayPal or that way. Would be my guess. That's how.
Or he may just be demonetized to the point that he can't get revenue from views, but can still get, the actual super chats, that kind of thing, the lower level of monetization.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what.
So like base level YouTube, like 500 sub version,
like me,
right?
My man.
One of the good ways of doing live communication is the Twitter Spaces. I've seen those fucking pop off. Yeah, I've thought about trying to, like, I've seen some people, like, especially talking about gaming, game awards and stuff like that. A couple of those popped up, and I was listening to them. Those are nice. Again, I think the issue with those is like there's not a whole lot of people who they've pop off, but I wonder, like, what is the reach and retention from all that stuff? Are you getting followers, or are people staying? What does that transfer over to stuff on YouTube, like all that sort of thing? Because I do find that stuff useful. I like the podcast format, listening to that stuff while I drive and all that.
Well, I mean, and you kind of have to have a pretty good following on Twitter, because it's not like it reaches out to people who aren't following you already. So, like somebody like Josie, the redheaded libertarian, every time she does a space, it's gigantic. So, plus, she's monetized on Twitter. A lot of the people that do spaces are monetized on Twitter. And
if someone that you know is listening to it, it'll pop up on your side thing. But apart from that, that's the only real sort of exposure that you get.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if someone if you have a big name in there, or some big name is listening to it, then it'll go out to them, and then you hope someone gravitates, that way. Actually, Ark, I know Disparity well. Him and I actually used to do a podcast 4 years ago. So I do know of him. I've listened to some of his discussions. Him and I see eye to eye on a lot of stuff for sure. So where's Jesse at? Oh, he's finishing up his show, huh?
Is he? Oh,
or he what? Maybe.
I wonder if he passed out again.
He may have been asleep.
I couldn't believe that. How many good screenshots did you get?
I got about 10. So I downloaded the video. I downloaded the video in case he blacklisted it.
That's too funny.
What was that, Saturday night?
Yeah, last night, the night before, yeah, something like that.
It wasn't last night, I don't think, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was funny. I woke up and saw your DM. Does anybody know how to get a hold of Jesse?
Is he okay? Oh man.
And then to top it off, when he went to bed, he forgot to end one of the streams, so he went on until YouTube cut it off. So like 6 hours of just his screen
his
and
chair.
sound of like no, because he had the screen up. So and then he had a bunch of sounds in the background like a washing machine or something, I guess.
Oh man.
That's fantastic.
He needs a buddy streamer. Yeah.
He used to do it a lot with Diesel, didn't he?
Yeah, my favorite part was when he woke up and then had a big swig of mead, like that was going to help.
Oh man, that's funny. God. So I don't even want to ask, but well, no big deal. Any notable resolutions for this year from you guys? I mean, I know it's kind of an overplayed thing. I feel like the older I get, the more I'm just like, just shut up and get yourself together. You don't need to announce it to the world. But I don't know. That said, is there anything you guys have planned for this year that you do want to share or do care to share? Things you might do differently with your channel, otherwise?
Well, mine's going to be the same as it was last year, but now I'm just going to add the word "re" in front of it. Get re-monetized.
Oh shit!
For what, the fourth time now?
Yeah. So apparently posting my old interviews with Gary and Mad and Memology, they went, nope, that's reused content. I'm like, but it's my content.
Yeah.
So, but it was the original. It was the original video for whatever reason. The one I did with Gary was the reason that it was stopping me from being monetized ages ago.
But how do clip channels exist if you can't?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense.
Maybe because it's like the full thing. Maybe if you went and like.
Well, no, I did an edit on it. I put like 10 of my interviews together, so it was like a 10-hour stream.
Oh.
And yeah, it was just
stream.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
For my channel, I mean, we're gonna keep pushing to the 1,000, and the goal for the channel is at December next year to be at AmFest, interviewing, everybody. Because for the bullpen, we'd like to get the bullpen isolated onto the channel, and then do kind of like the gaming streams and the other fun stuff separate from the bullpen, and try to grow that into an actual political show that. Not like a Benny Johnson or anything like that, but where we can just talk about politics, and we're a place that people come on Sundays to watch that and start getting some guests. I think we've got Josie coming on sometime in the next few months. So
sick. That's awesome.
We're getting some people.
Yeah, apparently she's cool. She got she was nominated for Catfish of the Year, or one of the Catfish of the Year by Pearl.
Pearl's so stupid.
I guess you have to understand that. I mean, Pearl at this point is trying to engagement farm. Like, I mean, that's just what she does. I don't think she's serious. But speaking, I kind of want to.
I think she is serious. I think he.
You think?
Genuinely,
I think her brain is that rotted at this point. She's
Yeah.
gone so far into the MGTOW and the red pill stuff that I think her brain is just not functioning.
Let me see. H.
We
Pearl
gotta go through the list.
She's just an SJ. She's just an SJW for the right. That's all it is.
Yeah.
She's the extremist worst version of it.
So, do you guys think? Here's a question. This will be great. You two are two people I think we can have a real conversation with.
We are two people. That is correct.
You are two people. Do you guys think that the term woke right is real? This is a big debate now. I'm starting to see people like go crazy that, oh, you're being ridiculous. The woke right's not a thing. I think Jeremy from the Quartering is like calling people out for being idiots for using the term. What are your guys' thoughts on the term woke right?
I'm not sure it's the right term to use. There definitely is something on the right that is becoming an issue, but I don't know if going with woke right is the right terminology to use. but the terminology kind of just develops on its own. So once it
Yeah,
has caught on, you really don't have a choice but to go along with what the majority of people are calling it.
well, look at what woke originally meant to what it means now. Like, so it's words evolve, they change, they get destroyed. You know, as I said, 1984, the destruction of language is a beautiful thing. But I don't know. When you say woke right, I know what it means,
Right.
but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the term itself doesn't apply correctly.
The only way I can really see it is if you're harping on about race and sex issues, sort of thing, and you're basically saying I can't be woke because I got a black friend. I would do a podcast with a woman, you know, that sort of stuff. Then I could say, well, that's the woke right. That's using them as a shield. That's what the woke culture does.
Mm-hmm.
But I think even like the FBI agent in Louisiana that came on earlier, and was announcing there's nothing terrorist about this, and it's a black woman, young black woman, and half of Twitter just starts blowing up about it being a DEI hire. I think that is part of it.
Like the initial.
Everything.
The initial DEI. Criticism
everything is woke. Everything's DEI. Everything.
Right.
Even our terrorism is now woke.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I like sort of am like drawing the line with a lot of the bullshit is like you're really making it hard. Like, because ARC says it's like woke and anti-woke, right? Like the anti-woke is like the woke right. Like when you're the people who and it's hard to even put it in that basket because the people who claim to be, who are outwardly spoken like I am anti-woke, oftentimes are, and as Alf says, the puritanical right, where it's like they can't do anything wrong, and it's just, like, oh, that's a black person. Oh, it's obviously a DEI hire. It's like, no, dude, you fucking moron. Like,
well, there's a woman in a game who was already in the previous games, but now she's the lead. It's a work game,
right?
That's shit. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Just immediately jumping all over everything just because DEI could have been involved is getting to be a problem as well.
Yep. Okay, I found Pearl's thread on these catfish of the year. So let's have a look.
It's not even a catfish. I mean, that's not.
I don't think she knows what a catfish is. Yeah. Marrying a guy and thinking he's straight and then him turning out to be gay, that's a catfish. Maybe that's why she's angry.
Or using a completely different picture on your profile and then looking at you're a completely different person when they meet you, or a guy when they meet you, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But not having makeup on is not catfishing.
Yeah. So, and like, everyone uses filters. Do I think some people use makeup to a crazy extent that like completely alters their appearance? Yes, I think, and there's some.
Wow, I'm feeling a little singled out here.
There's actual like TikTok accounts of like women who have like no teeth, who have like just completely shitty skin, and like they put on all the makeup, put their teeth in, and they look like completely different people. That I would consider a catfish.
From a 2 to a 10.
Yes, like that's my, but like these are also, I mean, yes, she's not wearing as much makeup here. There's no filter, but this is also, it could be the difference of like 4 weeks. Like maybe she it's a bad angle, purposely lit a certain way. There's filters. And then, hey, you could have gained a couple pounds just to like reduce the
well, her hair's 2 completely different colors.
Yeah.
But Josie that's what I mean. It's like rarely like goes full glam on anything. She's pretty much, I mean, she does wear makeup, but she doesn't go overboard most of the time. Picking one of like a glamour shot of her as the example is kind of stupid too.
Yeah, and honestly, I always see her as this picture. Like anytime I see her, it's usually
the time.
It's more of that,
Some eyeliner, maybe some lipstick. That's about all she does usually.
Right. And then, the Sydney Sweeney thing I thought was funny because, like, I don't know.
Makeup or no makeup, them big old titties are still going to draw eyes.
She's beautiful.
And she's also in the pictures on the right now, she's actually training and bulking up for a boxing biopic movie that she's going to be in. So yeah, she's put on a little weight and a little muscle for that. And I mean, she's at a pool on vacation. Why would she have all the makeup on?
Well, yeah, and you're talking, it's like washed out. Like there's no, like this is all designed.
Well, I like how she
probably half a mile
says,
away.
yeah, she says, oh, she's got a different colored hair, but if you can see in the top right picture, she's still blonde.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when you do photo shoots on the runway, these are lit in a way to make them look good. You know, reducing shadows. Here, like where here, it's like it's all the sun's all coming from the top. Like it's not good, and obviously she hasn't been in a tanning booth in a while, so who cares? Oh, yeah, these are like some of these are just stupid. Like, oh, she just probably woke up. Who cares, bro?
Paige also has a ridiculous body.
I don't know Paige as well.
She's
I
used
don't
to
know
be
who
a
that is.
professional women's golfer. Now she basically is a women's golfer influencer. She still does golf, but she does like slow motion videos of what happens to her upper body as she swings the golf club, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who some of these people are. Influencer, yeah, okay. I mean, again, not necessarily a catfish as much as it is like I'm intentionally trying to make myself, you know, more hourglass shape. I don't know, man. Whatever. Yeah, and like this, I don't love Melanie, but not having eyeliner on versus having eyeliner on, it's not a catfish. It's just makeup.
Right.
Same thing here. Like the face looks exactly the same, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like here you can just see your body, and this one you can't. What?
Yeah, she's got a neck. What a catfish, because that's
Right.
what most catfish are known for, their necks.
And this one I have no idea what that is, but whatever. Like I don't know, man.
I don't know.
This one was funny. She responded to this and was like,
Yeah.
I put the old lady filter on.
It says face up in the bottom corner. You can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chrissy was specifically trying to make herself look old and haggish.
Right. It's so good. Oh man. And Sarah goes on. I think Sarah's very attractive. You know, most of these are like, a lot of these women are mature women anyway. So I think men in general are like, they think of
and if I remember right with Sarah, she used to weigh like 200 pounds more than what she does now. So she
really?
has actually done a lot of work on herself to get herself to looking as good as she does.
And Anna is a really pretty girl. Like this is stupid. Like
Yeah, but taking a picture from what, 8 years ago?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
It's
Cream
just
says
doing Pearl things.
women wearing makeup is a catfish. Shit, back in my day, it was catfish if they had a bigger check. Yeah. I don't think. No, I mean,
It's 2025, guys. That might be true.
There's degrees of which that is true. So I think normal amounts of makeup. I don't think any of these women here were wearing so much makeup it changed their appearance. I did mention earlier, Kareem, that there are women I think who put on so much makeup it like fundamentally changes what they look like. I don't think we saw any of that here. And she's being really selective on the pictures. Like this one, for example, it's a horrible, like it's pretty close on the angle, but like this is a professionally lit photo. This is her in her living room, like with terrible lighting. Like it's, if you did the same exact lighting as this with like the same, like, let's just say like maybe you just put the same lipstick on and everything else the same here. I would almost guarantee you'd be nearly the same person.
Also, picture quality itself on these other ones are all lower quality ones to make them look bad.
Right.
Yeah.
This is probably taken from like a FaceTime that the person was doing.
A screenshot of something. Yeah.
Joe Atmosphere for $4.99. Thank you so much, Joe. Said, very proud of everyone from my state of Louisiana in that press conference, especially the governor and Senator John Kennedy. Happy New Year. So I know what you're talking about. I've seen like the video, but I haven't listened to what it was. What was that in regards to? Brahma, was that the
That was in regards to the terrorist attack.
the terrorist
last night.
attack? Okay.
Oh, is it a terrorist attack? I was told it wasn't.
It was
3 hours later, they came out and said, "Oh yeah, it's a terrorist attack, and there is an ISIS flag, like everybody said." And basically everything that Twitter had already confirmed, they managed to come out and say hours and hours later.
I don't understand. Like, it's a weird. We live in such a weird world where you can't just like when something like that comes up, like you can't talk about it, right? Like you're not allowed to talk. Hey, there's an ISIS flag in there. You can't. That can't be news because someone might take action against someone from ISIS, which I don't know. Maybe you could argue is a good thing.
Right?
Call me crazy.
There was a time when we thought ISIS was a bad thing as a country.
Right.
I mean, all it took was one administration for them to come back.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were gone.
Remember the leader? He died like a dog.
He died like a dog.
Diana says, wait, what? Makeup is supposed to be used sparingly to just brighten up your complexion, not change what you look like. No, I agree 100%. That's
So that's a special effects makeup artist.
I'm fortunate enough that my mom was someone who never wore makeup growing up. So like, that's what I enjoy. My wife, she's the same way. She does not wear a bunch of makeup and I love it.
Mine too.
Very, very natural looking woman. It's just amazing. I can't stand the fake, like you could peel off,
like when your face is a completely different color than your neck.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. I actually used to work with a chick who you could see the line on her jaw because she was so bad.
Yeah.
Nasmer says, what's up, Nasmer? Good to see you. Lens focal length on lenses changes what you look like immensely. 200 millimeter versus 20 millimeter make you look like two different people. 100%.
Yeah, like even when they do like the tracking zoom, if you ever watch Severance, they do the elevator tracking zoom shots. The face gets wider and narrower every single time that they do it. You see the difference what the lenses do. The wider it is, the more distorted it is. The more let's just say it puts a few pounds on.
Right.
But opposite way, you've got no depth. But Shags freeze again, did he?
Yeah, he frozen.
Yeah, I just turned my camera off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here, let me show you real quick what I'll just share. Where's present? I haven't done this in a while.
I thought it said present. I got disappointed every time I did, and I didn't get a gift.
There we go. This just shows you like how much it changes between like 20 millimeter to 200 millimeter. Like it totally changes what this person looks like.
Can you embiggen it?
No, it's in Discord, so I'd have to open it here. Let me see if I can.
Just open the web browser.
There we go.
Yeah.
Anyway, as you were.
We are.
Yeah. We were watching what you were doing. That's what we were doing.
All right, let me open it here and bring it up. There we go. Now I can do a thing. I know how to use the control. I was trying to do it with Discord.
Doesn't work on Discord unless you're using Discord in the browser.
And who would do that?
There you go. Just to show how much focal length can change what a person looks like.
That and how much light is absorbed by the actual camera.
Yeah, and that's the thing. This is also professionally lit. So this is only the change in focal length. Now, do this, but add like washed out, like non-professional lighting. There's probably 2 or 3 lights that are lighting this guy. So
and most camera phones are very wide. So you're looking like between 18 millimeters is usually what a lot of the front-facing cameras are. That's why they can capture so much.
Yep.
Right.
God damn. Sorry.
But some of them, he looks skinny as hell, and others, not so.
Yeah, like the
Like
top
on that
left.
Sydney
he's-
Sweeney picture, I mean, the paparazzi are probably taking those from half a block away with
That
a
just
zoom
goes-
lens, just trying
Right.
to catch her.
And that
Yep.
just goes to show you how big she really is, because zooming from there should make everything flat, and it doesn't.
Oh man, what was I? Where are my bookmarks? What do we have? What happened this week? Oh, apparently they interviewed Gorlock on ABC.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it because I wanted to watch it here with you
I
guys.
haven't watched it. All I know is they got Gorlock to tell them what demure and brat means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch it because I can't wait.
Demure, isn't that the thing that Mariah Carey made up?
Is it?
Huh?
The terminology, I think.
No, it's old. It's an old word.
Okay,
for
well,
what,
yeah.
a small dainty woman.
Yeah. Not a small dainty woman. Look, it's tucking
Not-
her belly in and everything.
Not a woman.
Brat and being their most demure selves this year. And this next creator helped make the internet a bit more elegant, so much so that
Wait, what? Gorlock
more-
made the internet more elegant.
Oh, I thought she
Oh.
said elephant.
that dictionary.com named demure its word of the year. Please welcome Jules LeBron. Hi, hun.
Hi, Divas.
Can
How
we
are
have a
you?
moment?
That is
Hi,
not the
how
name
are
anybody
you?
knows it by.
Wait. So Gorlock the Destroyer isn't her actual name?
Nope, apparently not.
It's just what she got from whatever cast on that one appearance that she made on there. I really hate Brian for having it on there so that we had to deal with this going forward.
It's just whatever. Live your life how you want. This is not the person to define the word at all. Like not even close.
I'm interested in what the new generation's definition of that word is now.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Divas, what's doing coordinator?
No,
Great minds
actually.
think alike.
Right? Am I demure? Did I make it?
I mean, double demure.
Okay, so as the expert, I want you to tell us if these trends are very demure. Okay, first,
Absolutely.
Moo Dang the Pygmy Hippo.
Very cutesy.
Yeah.
Very demure.
Okay, Kendrick and Drake's rap beef.
Ooh,
Oh, I
very
know.
mindful.
Do you have any
very
more
real,
volume
but
on
not
this?
very
That's the volume we
Okay.
get.
demure.
How about Ryan Seacrest hosting his 20th New Year's Rockin' Eve?
Really?
Yeah,
20?
Very demure and
I
very
know.
mindful, very
Yes.
successful, very classy. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you for all of your very mindful answers, Jules. We're going to hit by midnight in the Central Time Zone during this next performance.
Yes.
Let's check in with Gronk.
Ugh.
Gronk is close to Gorlock.
I don't get it. Like
Why would you give Gronk a mic?
That is a good question.
I don't understand. I don't understand this idea of, well, I don't know. At the risk of sounding like a complete dick,
Do it anyway.
I don't understand the absolute need for like representation everywhere all the time. And this is one of those
Yeah.
examples where I'm like, this didn't seem necessary. It just seemed like we're just trying to cram this thing through, we're trying to cram the square peg through the round hole, right? Like that's,
Just like Bud Light,
yeah, like I don't know, man.
just like the White House bringing people to certain events.
That's talk about memory holing shit. Like that is something like people forgot about real quick, or like that whole administration was like, "Oh, nothing to see here. We didn't actually do that." Remember?
Yeah, multiple
Could-
times.
Could have
We
been
don't have
anyone's
a-
white powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, between the guy stealing luggage, like the
Yep.
trans woman like flashing in the rose garden, and then
Yeah.
wasn't there like
the admiral,
the what?
the admiral.
The
Rear
Admiral.
Admiral.
But then there was like the butt stuff happening in the
in
Senate
the
chambers
Senate
or whatever.
chambers, and then there was also Karine Jean-Pierre had some very, very, very gay guy come in and pretend to be intern for a day.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Oh,
Yeah,
with the nails and like the
Yeah.
yeah, yapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's bringing Harry Sisson and Dean Withers and all of those guys to the White House.
At least they're passable.
they're at least political, but yeah, that this whole administration just worshipped everything about the Alphabet Mafia.
But like again, it's like none of that stuff is remembered. Like it's like they wanted everyone to forget about it because it didn't serve any purpose in the long run. Like they didn't gain anything from it. But for some reason, it was like because the left attempted it, it's no big thing. Like, oh, we're just being inclusive.
It was virtue signaling on
it's just
the White House, just like lighting up the White House and pride flags,
right.
Pride flag colors. You know what I mean.
I remember when the rainbow
they
used to
actually
be
had
manly.
the rainbow lights on the White House and stuff.
Right. I was watching. We put on Aladdin yesterday on Disney Plus, and there's a warning before that movie. Now that
Culturally insensitive people at the beginning where they said, "I'll cut your hand off."
is that what it was for? I don't even know what it was for. I watched that movie after seeing that warning, and I was like, "What is culturally insensitive here?" Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe because they call him a street rat a bunch of times, but like,
No, it's not even about that. It's about the guards. And also depicting them as greedy, money hungry as well. It leans into stereotypes of the Arabic world about being savages. Because in the line, he says, "If you get caught stealing, we'll cut off your hand."
huh?
Which is a punishment for that back then.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
wasn't?
Oh yeah, but you don't understand. Aladdin's not set in the past; it's actually set in the distant future.
That makes more sense.
It's just weird. Like we just live in such different times where like why are we not able like it's not anyone else's job. Like and they don't even there's nothing in that movie where my kids are sitting there like, why did he do that? That was really mean. It's like it's all relevant action and
with Home Alone, they had it on Netflix. Portions of this promote self-harm in Home Alone.
really?
Yeah, you know what the line was when he goes across the line of the Firefox and Merv looks out and he says, "Where is he?" And he went, "Maybe he committed suicide,"
Oh my
which
God.
wasn't in that. It was changed.
Yeah. I remember that part. Yeah. Yeah.
The whole trigger warnings thing is
We have
so
trigger
and-
warnings for
And
yeah,
Trump still isn't in the second one if you watch it on Netflix.
the second Home Alone, they cut Trump's scene.
Yeah, they
He's
cut his
in-
section out.
on Disney Plus he's in it because we
Yeah.
watched that recently.
But on Netflix, it's not.
That's so dumb. It's so petty. Like it's so petty.
But is it surprising? No.
I mean,
Also, they run The Apprentice as well on Netflix. So
Do they?
yeah, in Australia they do. If you use Netflix, the best thing you do is just get a VPN, set your home country to Mexico. You get the biggest amount of titles out of everything.
Right.
Mexico has more stuff. I bounce around from country to country depending on what I want to watch because a lot of the times we'll have to watch something and it's not on. It's on like Paramount Plus or something else like that. But I'm like, wonder what it is in Sweden. There it is. It's right there on the front page.
Yeah. I used VPN quite often and quite liberally as well.
yeah. Speaking of Trump, what do you guys think of the Cybertruck?
H1B. The Cybertruck?
Yeah, man, that's
intentional.
wild.
Yeah.
Well,
It
yeah,
was intentional, but it's
clearly.
also me and Grant were talking about it before the show. It's going to be the best ad for a Cybertruck Elon could ever ask for because that thing, the tailgate didn't even get blown off.
Yeah.
It for the most part, the police said it basically sent the explosion straight up instead of out and basically caused no damage because of it, because the Cybertruck is so indestructible. I mean, it's a rolling tank. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to blame. They're going to somehow. There's going to be an article that comes out in the next few days saying it was a stunt by Elon.
Yeah.
no, I'm pretty sure they've already come out and said this was an intentional act, and they're already looking into things.
Well,
They've
yeah, they
already
know.
tracked it down to it
They
was-
know who owns it.
Well, it was rented through Turo. I think they've tracked it back to actually Colorado Springs is where it was rented. I'm not sure on that detail, but the vehicle was one of so Turo. I don't know if you know what it is, Grant. It's basically you rent somebody's private vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like that's terrible idea.
Yeah, but if you're going on vacation and somebody doesn't need their vehicle and they rent it out for the week, and make a few $100 off of it. It's a thing here.
Is
It's
any
a
I mean,
problem with insurance.
what's the next step? You know, you invite someone over for dinner and charge them. Like, is that going to be a new app? You just put up tonight. We're having spaghetti and meatball, and someone says, "I'll come over."
Yeah, I'd be.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
No, you know why that wouldn't work? Because it'll actually embrace community. They can't have that.
It's
Right.
true.
So there was more than one truck.
Well, there was the truck that was used to ram everybody in Louisiana. It was also a Turo rental.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about that on X, but I wasn't 100% certain. It looked like people were going through walk through a drive-through and a white ute or something just come plowing through.
Yeah, white truck plowed over a ton of people.
Yeah,
and
it's a
got out
ute.
and got into a
Not a
shootout.
truck. Trucks are much bigger.
I think what has me more like this is obviously bad, but like I think what disturbs me more about all this is that it seems to be just a regular thing that happens like with like Trump and all that. Like, you know, I mean, starting with the assassination attempts and like now this sort of stuff happened. Like, it's not like no one's focusing on it as if it's any big deal, right? Like, it's just, oh, this thing occurred. Like, Vegas is pretty populated. Like, you know, Trump is he's the president elect. Like, this should be concerning to more people, in my opinion.
Well,
and yet we're all
nobody
just
at the Trump Hotel in Vegas is, they're not associated with Trump in any way. Really.
Right.
I mean, the Trump Hotel is named that, but it's just a whole bunch of tourists staying in a hotel in Vegas.
Well, and yeah, again, and that
Back in a
leads
minute.
that leads to even another point is like this is essentially targeting civilians because again, Trump's wasn't scheduled to come out the door in 10 minutes, you know. So what again, why is there this seems to need more attention than it's getting. I don't know. And I know it seems to be a combination of like, we hate Elon, we hate Trump, so this is what we're doing. So I don't know, pretty disturbing overall. It's one of the reasons.
The normalization of it and desensitization to it. Yeah, it's becoming an issue. I mean, like you mentioned, the assassination attempts. They just disappeared. Nothing about them.
Yep.
I mean, it was like a week later. Doesn't matter. It's like, when did we get to the point where, they're attempting to assassinate a former president and then at the time, likely president, and it's just not news after a day or two. I mean, it was a 24 to 48 hour news cycle and then gone.
Well, it just
the second
became
one didn't even last that long.
Yeah, and it became like, oh, well, the person is affiliated with Republicans, so we don't care. It's your problem. It's like, wait, whoa. I don't care who did it. Like, this is a big deal. Like, anyone radicalized enough to attempt. Whether that's right or wrong that, these guys were Republican or whatever. Doesn't matter. This is a serious thing. Attack on a politician, future president or potentially future presidential candidate. We should be investigating. There should be huge investigations because, again, if the shoe were on the other foot, this would be the case. It would be the case.
I find the bigger issue to be things like the CEO getting shot and then the left just sitting there praising the shooter. I mean, regardless of what you think of the company does being CEO of a company put a actual target on your back? I mean, it's kind of messed up to go out and execute somebody just because you don't agree with their company. And their company is working within the bounds of Obamacare. I mean, it's the Democrats who made the health system in this country. So if you've really got a problem with it, why isn't there ever any shouting about that? Because the health insurance companies only work within the bounds of what the laws are in this country.
Yeah, no, I've caught a lot of shit for saying as much. You know, they're selling T-shirts on TikTok like as this guy being like a saint. It's like, you know, like saintly for
Same
doing what
thing
he
they did
did.
with Floyd.
Yeah, and it's like it's just a very very bizarre thing. I can disagree with how the health care industry operates and how the CEO and United Healthcare um, deals with their shit anyway. But everyone's guilty of, in the case of like allowing healthcare to get as fucked up as it is. You've had a decade or more to make it right, to not allow these companies to continue to profit off of sick people. Nobody's doing anything about it. They're letting them run rampant.
Well, that's the funny thing about the Affordable Care Act. It was never meant to work. It was meant to have to be pushed into a single payer system. It was never meant to be implemented this long. It was a stair step to single payer to where you got socialized medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And they've never been able to get that step taken. So you've got a broken system that is in place, and people don't recognize that the system is as much a problem as the individual companies.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, man, when we start celebrating these madmen.
But that is kind of I mean, I know I always sound partisan. I'm unaffiliated, but I mean, the fact that the left makes saints out of the wrong people every single time kind of drives me nuts. It's like, hey, this guy gunned down a CEO. He's a new saint for us. George Floyd was a great guy. He's a martyr. And it's like, why are you praising some of the worst things in society? What in your head makes you think these things are good?
They can't. It's one of they can't think beyond their own nose, right? They think, oh well, that guy was doing God's work by taking out a real bad person because he probably condemned a lot of people to death through his terrible.
I'm going to do something real quick, guys. I'll be back in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
So
no worries.
So it's like, so that's why they think, but it's short-sighted, right?
Yeah.
And we know that it's a short-sighted thing to do, but they don't realize like, oh, well, this is also enabling other people to do the very same thing. And that's, again, it's the issue with like the 24-hour news cycle too, is that something like this happens. Like, in my opinion, you could report on what's going on and not making these people into martyrs and, basically putting them into sainthood. Like, I think the news is often guilty of it more than regular people, because
that's where the mainstream media is untrustworthy and become an issue. And I think people are recognizing that. I think this whole last election basically just told us what we already knew. The mainstream media has no control in this country anymore.
I agree. Jack Lantern says a healthcare company CEO isn't making claim denial decisions anyway. Yeah, I 100% agree. What people's criticism of this is that the CEO was. I agree with you.
He had some shady dealings.
There were some shady dealings, and there was he was upholding, a lot of these things, and allowing these policies to even be made, like the rules to be made. I don't agree with it. It's a broken system overall. He is a symptom of a much greater problem. And again, the issue is that even though you execute that guy, the next guy is going to step in and probably do the same thing. You're not really teaching anyone a lesson. I don't think.
And really, he's doing a job. I mean, everybody at that healthcare company is just doing a job, whether they're an adjuster, whether they're in claims, acceptance or denial, that kind of stuff. I mean, nobody should be shot for going to work.
I agree. Jesse is feeling like poo. He's probably going to go sleep because he didn't sleep long enough on camera the other night.
Over partied for New Year's Eve, huh?
No worries, man. Get some rest. Feel better, man.
Well, and the one of the things that people have been pointing to is that recently one of the healthcare companies decided, yeah, if you've got a surgery that goes past this amount of time, we're not paying for the anesthesia. It's like after 8 hours of a 12-hour surgery or whatever, it's, the anesthesia is no longer getting covered. Most people don't know that it's not the health insurance company that really had made that decision originally. You know what system it is that they're emulating and copying to bring the healthcare system in line with? Medicare and Medicaid. They've had that law or that rule on the books forever.
Is that real?
Yes.
Wow.
So all the insurance company is doing is bringing it in line with what the federal government does with our tax money for healthcare. So people have got to look more into these things before just immediately flying off the handle, thinking that these companies are just intentionally going to try to kill everybody. I agree there are issues, but I mean, there's also the amount of life-saving surgeries that they do approve every single day. And all the treatments that they do approve every single day.
Well, this is the thing is like once something like this happens, then you have all these people. What they do, what media does is they round up everyone or all the people and only the people who had bad experiences with this particular healthcare company, and they blast that everywhere. So then everyone thinks that this is what happens. Now, I know that United Healthcare has like the highest denial. And every single insurance company, like I deal with construction, there's always a terrible one that like doesn't approve of anything or is really bad at like, getting there.
Yeah.
And I know who they are, at least from the construction side. But like it doesn't mean that we should be just allowing, like what DB Wild is saying here is kind of where I'm going. It's like, they don't have the knowledge of what is really happening.
They don't do the day-to-day job.
Yeah.
It's just like when a CEO, goes the undercover CEO thing. Most of them don't do the base level job. They don't do the mid-level job. Most of them are management that have stepped up or come up through the ranks to a degree. But I mean, if you haven't done the base level job in 2 years, you're probably completely out of touch with what that job actually entails now because technology changes it so fast.
Yeah, it's a clusterfuck, and insurance is just it's a horrible system that we have right now, but no one has put in the time to try and fix it, and nothing has gone anywhere. And to put the blame one way or the other, saying that the Republicans are the problem, the Democrats are the problem. It's a bipartisan thing that has not been fixed. It was a partisan thing that was pushed through.
Obamacare was a completely partisan thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't lay this all at a CEO's feet, and more than that, you saying that the person did right by doing such a thing, whether you believe it was that guy or not, it sets a really dangerous precedent. Like, do I think it's going to spawn a bunch of like vigilantes? Not necessarily. It just overall excuses behavior like that, and then it spirals society into a bit of chaos. Not that we can't come back from it, but I don't like where it puts us morally.
You know what fixes it? Let the health insurance companies operate across state lines and actually have to compete instead of the government telling you must have health insurance.
Yeah.
Because right now they don't have to compete for crap. You're kind of required to have health insurance, and they don't have to they don't have to have a better record or a worse record of acceptance or denial. They don't have to be competitive on the rates or the premiums because they don't have to compete.
Yep.
If you opened it up, which is what everybody had said before we got this horrible piece of crap, Obamacare, that's what would have done it. Open it up across state lines, make it actually have to be competitive.
What's interesting,
the premium and earn the customer.
What's interesting is so between my son, his early birth, my wife and I at one point we were on Medicare, Medicaid. What is it? What is it for poor people?
Medicare, I think.
Medicare.
Or actually, it may be Medicaid. I think
Medicaid.
Medicare
Yeah.
is
So we did use that
aid.
at one point, and then it helped with our son when he was born. And then I work with insurance all day long with construction. The majority of the time, regardless of how you feel about insurance in general, it works for people. It might not be the perfect system, but people are able to, like, again, in the construction industry, pipes break in your house, flood your house, carpets ruined, whatever. It might not be the smoothest process, but it allows you to go from tens of thousands of dollars to a couple thousand or even 500, depending on what your policy is.
Yeah.
It does work, I think, for most of the jobs that I work. There's always a few, again, and it's usually very specific insurance companies that give us a hard time, or the insured hard time.
P&C insurance and health insurance are two absolutely completely different animals.
Totally. And like I said, I'm speaking from my profession from that side.
Yeah.
But like, even with our son, like there was in our care, a lot of times, like my medication was more. I think the most I paid for my medication was like $40 a month. For the generic version or whatever.
Sure.
But it wasn't as if it was unlivable. I was still, it was better than if I didn't have it. I don't know.
But it would have been great if Trump had gotten the law through that basically said you have to show what the cash price is for any of these services.
Oh yeah, no, that is something that to me needs to be like number one. Because it's funny you say that, because I just thought in my head, like, yeah, because restaurants, they're required to show you their prices. You go in there, I want to buy this. I was in where was I? Beans and Brews the other day.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk in and I'm like, oh, I just want a coffee, just a small coffee or whatever. They have no prices listed anywhere. Nowhere. So I'm like, and it was like $3.50 for a small coffee. I was like, are you fucking mad?
Yeah, it's insane. And you froze up. I mean, since we brought in P&C just a little bit, the other thing that, with the pricing, like, having a claim in P&C insurance is not good. So sometimes you might want to like call and find out how much your windshield's going to be before putting in a claim for your windshield, because your windshield, even if it's below the deductible, it's still going to be a claim closed without payment.
Mm-hmm.
So having that price list, I can make the decision for myself. Do I want to just pay this out of pocket? Or like even just going to the doctor for a physical, like our girls, every year you got to get a physical for school and for sports. Going to urgent care and paying the $75 out of pocket, I don't have to worry about the stupid rule with the health insurance that you can only have one per calendar year. So you have to time it perfectly every year.
Yeah.
If you go to urgent care, pay the $75, don't even deal with your insurance, you don't have to worry about the timeline. I mean, if you had something that actually told you the price, there are things that you may do differently because you can pay it out of pocket rather than dealing with the insurance company. Yeah. And then the insurance company can't deny you the service either. If it's, like my daughter really should have had her tonsils taken out. Every doctor she ever saw said, your tonsils are ridiculously swollen. They are what's causing your breathing issues. She's been diagnosed with asthma. So was I as a kid. And it turned out you take the tonsils and adenoids out because we both have gigantic tonsils and adenoids.
Mm-hmm.
No asthma anymore. But the health insurance wouldn't approve it because she hadn't had strep enough. But if I knew what the price was, then maybe I could have paid for it out of pocket at some point by saving up or doing whatever. And then she's not dealing with inhalers for the rest of her life. That kind of thing. Because the older you get, the worse the tonsillectomy is. So,
yeah.
I don't know. There's ways to solve this, but we're not going to solve it here. But I mean, opening up across state lines and having the pricing, actually a menu of prices of what goes on, or a pamphlet of prices of what goes on, would be a huge start to fixing healthcare in the country.
It's almost like capitalism works, creates competition and increases innovation.
Well, Well, and it's almost like having accidental, major healthcare. We started calling it healthcare because it's no longer insurance. It's not
Yeah.
health insurance, because insurance is for what might possibly happen.
Right.
When we went to pre-existing conditions and anything and everything should be covered, that it basically became a human warranty, not an insurance policy.
Right. Human warranty.
Why?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's, it doesn't matter. Before, you couldn't just go, okay, I've got this now. Now I'm going to go buy a policy, and they're forced to cover that. That's what spikes the rates of health insurance.
Yeah.
Because you're required to cover something that you wouldn't have before because the person wasn't responsible enough to have the health insurance before. And there was always ways to they can't deny you service. Like an emergency room can't deny you service. Everybody was always going to get service one way or another.
Yep.
Sure, it may bankrupt some people, but I mean, that's the way the system worked. You had either your employee plan. If you lost your job, you had Cobra to, gap you over to your next job, or you bought a personal insurance policy.
Right.
It was working. There
Yep.
were 10 million who weren't insured. Most of them chose not to be insured. Now we have a lot more than that uninsured because it's not affordable to have insurance. The Affordable Care Act is not affordable in any way.
Yeah. It's,
Much like the Inflation Reduction Act reduced zero inflation. All it did was cause more. But we can
Sorry.
probably move on from this. This has got to be a thrilling conversation for everybody in chat.
I think everyone likes it. What do you think, chat? Are we learning tonight? Is Brahma teaching us everything?
Well, we got there from the CEO.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
I mean, if we're going back to the things that are going on in the country, the other thing you got to look at is just the complete denial of like subway violence in New York. It's like, no, there's no issues here. We see another guy get pushed in front of a train yesterday.
That was wild.
Yeah,
Like-
that one was crazy.
I just can't.
And yet
like-
another hero on the left, the guy who got killed by the what was he? Insurance guy? Or not insurance guy, army guy that choked him out.
Oh, right.
And got found innocent. Penny got found innocent or not guilty a couple
Yep.
weeks ago, and suddenly the guy that he killed, who is a major issue and a menace in the subway system, suddenly he's a hero and a martyr. And it just kind of goes back to, what are we doing in this country?
Yeah, man. We don't celebrate the right people ever.
Well, certain people don't celebrate the right people.
Right.
And other people need to be careful about who they make into their heroes. Because we do it on the right too.
Yeah, that's true.
Not the
Actually,
same way, but we do it.
I was going to say that. I was going to totally say that that's something that I know the right is also guilty of, is that we put certain people on pedestals. And I mean, even Elon, to an extent, like we deify like all these people as like they're the best, very best thing. And it's like they're cool, and I think they have some good ideas, but like at some point, like they're going to slip up, and then then what happens is every time, doesn't matter left or right, that person slips up, and then the other side starts being like, "So you told you so? See, neo-Nazi, see a fascist, blah blah blah," and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't do this anymore." Just like, can't we just like take the good with the bad? Like that was a good idea. Like going to Mars, great. All that stuff, SpaceX. All this other,
Yeah.
this other shit.
The
No,
right
not
tends
the-
to raise the pedestal so high that when they make a minor slip up, the fall is
Yeah,
a
man.
20-foot ladder, not the 2-foot pedestal that they probably should have been on.
Right. Like, but that's like the problem. I think, again, it's like a social media thing where we're trying to spread the myth, like, hey, this is really good. This person has great ideas. Good, go to the moon. And then like, as soon as that person slips up, then again, the other side uses that as like their cudgel. And it's like, God damn it. Like, but it's
the
also
other side, and it's our own side sits
Right.
there and starts attacking.
no, totally. And the thing is like, it's not smart either way. Like it's not really like the other side always looks dumb too. Cause it's like, well, you know, everyone does something good, something bad. There's very few people I think that are just totally nonsense morons, you know, but
Yeah. What drives
I
me
don't know.
nuts is like Cardi B says something that's semi-based, and then the right's like, "Hey, she's one of us now." I mean, the right is so starved to have anybody famous speak for them in any way that they immediately try to adopt anybody who says anything that is even somewhat right,
Yeah.
when the rest of everything they say is complete left. I mean, I can praise J.K. Rowling for being against the current, you know, the transmission issue, but J.K. Rowling's still a flaming leftist. I mean, I'm not going to raise her as
All right.
a champion of the right.
Mm.
I will give her, kudos for having the right take on one position.
Yeah. Well, it's even what's her name, Barry Weiss. Like Barry Weiss is still still a liberal, but she's been a very moderate voice for a lot of people, and she's been way more like her whole publication, the Free Press. Like I don't agree with everything she says, but I enjoy the fact that she has brought people together that are that I think are fairly sensible in writing under her publication. I don't agree with everything they say, but I'll agree when I can, and then have my criticisms when I don't. And I think, and again, it comes down to as well, like when you start talking like that, at least from my experience, people start using the term like, well, you're a fence sitter on this stuff. Like you're not, like you need to have more hardline opinion. I'm like, I don't think so, man. Like, cause I couldn't possibly dig in on something so hard because I just look like a fool. It's one of the reasons some people look so stupid. So they dig in so hard and they're like, yeah, J.K. Rowling is awesome. She's great. She's so based. And then the minute she comes out and says something that they disagree with, oh, well, like, no, you look like an idiot.
But the thing is, she was always like that.
Yeah.
Just because she said one take that happened to agree with you did not mean that she has, converted everything she thinks. I mean, it's kind of like the coalition that Trump has put together.
Mhm.
I mean, Trump is not my pastor. He's the president. I don't care, what kind of language he uses.
Right.
B, somebody like RFK, I would never have voted for him. Not in a million years.
Uh-huh.
But under the control of the administration that's coming in and putting him in the position he's going to be in,
right,
I think he can do good things in the position he'll be in.
Right.
That's not granting him a ton of other powers. That's giving him control over one portion where I agree with what he says.
Right.
Same with Elon, Vivek, doing the Doge thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with Elon on everything. I don't like Neuralink, the possibilities of where Neuralink could go. I think Neuralink is great for, somebody who's never been able to hear or see or is paralyzed. Those kinds of uses.
Yeah, but the mind control factor is always there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the slope that we're all looking at. But I mean, I would not vote for Elon for most things. There's lots of people that are coming in. Tulsi Gabbard, there's a lot of them that it's just like, no, they're not 100% on board with what I believe, but nobody's 100% on board with what I believe.
Right.
You pick and choose what is good for you and good for the country and hope that they can accomplish that. But you don't sit there and suddenly adopt them as if they're, 100% aligned with you, because they're not. They never were. They never will be.
But who is?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's ever going to be.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how people will remember when there's all this talk of like car companies putting kill switches in cars and stuff. And then then you have people being like, oh, Neuralink, like, yeah, we should, let's put a chip in our, it's like, you understand that's just a kill switch for someone else.
Kill switch for a human instead of a car.
So, and like,
but you might end up with like Keanu Reeves in your head and go on cool missions and, bang old bitches. So
I know kung fu.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think, I mean, I'm of the belief that we have not tapped into the potential that we have, but I don't believe that even if Neuralink works and enables us to dial up that percentage a point or two, I think people will sooner go crazy than integrate with it properly. I don't think we're capable of really tapping into, a higher conscious or a higher brain capacity or usage. I think it would just drive us nuts. I think a lot of people you see in the world who are crazy are people who are capable of tapping into, maybe higher, brain usage, and
See,
they just can't control it.
I think they've debunked
That sounds like
the
a
whole
good
we
idea.
only use 10% of our brains. We use 100% of our brains. The thing is, some people are more savants than others about certain things. Neuralink could, do something like that, but I don't think 90% of our brain is sitting there unused. And I think they've actually proven that was just kind of
That was just a
something
false
thrown
thing.
out there.
Yeah, it was during a single test, only 10% of the brain was lighting up. And then that was to do with reasoning and something else. But that's before they realized that the different parts of the brain are for different things.
They fire
It's the
for
reason why
different
someone
reasons.
can get shot in the head and lose 10 years of their life, but still be the exact same person.
Oh,
Yeah.
DB Wild says, do you think the Neuralink would be able to let us control blood flow in our bodies if there were some nanites in there? I'm tired of taking Viagra at night just to wake up feeling young again. That's funny.
It is.
So here's an interesting theory. I wish Garrett were here so we could talk, because he does Forbidden Frontier.
Yeah.
So I'm obsessed with like prehistory, ancient history, all that stuff. I think it's fascinating. And
well, you should come on Aluminum Spork sometime with me and Scotty. We do it every week.
Well, you got to send me an invite, dude.
We'll do.
So I forget what it is called, what the actual like whole theory is called, but essentially, so they're searching for life, obviously, and what we've explored so far is if we had basically scooped up like a hot tub's worth of ocean water. That's what we've observed in space and said there's no I can't, but there's no life. And but one of the rolling theories currently is that that it's possible, because civilizations or whatever can kind of come and go in a couple 100,000 years, that we've just missed like maybe visitors prior, and they're like maybe pre-dinosaur, or even during that, maybe we had been visited at some point, but
by the Anunnaki.
But if any global cataclysm had happened, we would have obviously no record of that. The fossil record is so tiny.
There was a major one 12,800 years ago.
So
no, I'm saying even
Dryas.
before that.
I'm talking Younger Dryas.
Yeah, but that we have way more like fossil record of. I'm talking 100 million years ago, like that you wouldn't. It would be almost impossible to have a sort of fossil record. It's so limited anyway, because nothing really preserved. So it's possible that there could have been cities that were completely buried and lost under time.
There is a theory that there are certain elements in that we have that might not have originated on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carlin had this bit where he reckons that human race's only purpose is to implant plastic into the ground. So in then a million years' time, people dig up the ground, they're going to think plastic actually comes from the Earth and not know that it was a man-made thing. Because let's just say, for instance, there was a civilization that was powerful and everything like that. They're not going to build their structures and everything to last a million years.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. And if let's just say, for instance, back when you're talking about the time of Pangea, that's why we have the same sort of minerals and shit and everything in the Earth now.
Right.
It's the reason why you can get iron out of Australia, and you can also get it out of Northern America, which are on completely opposite sides of the world.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the idea that there was something that was there. The problem with it, it's just an idea because we need proof. But without proof, it's just a concept, and all concepts are possible.
Right. I can't imagine, like, somewhere in the world there must be something happening. But again, if the window of society is 100,000 years or a couple 100,000 years, it's very and light takes so long to get to us. It would be so hard to find that spot in order to see it. And not just that, but like if they were visiting us, I mean, they only have 100,000 year window, and the scale of time is huge, right? 100,000 years is nothing on the scale of time. So it's like, the sad part is we probably will never cross paths with another civilization. I don't know.
I subscribe more to the dark forest theory, if there is something out there, is that especially if there was some civilization that was able to visit us millions of years ago or hundreds of millions of years ago, they would have to be so advanced that I would think that they would probably understand as well that if they exist and they have found any other civilizations, you don't know who's your enemy and who is your friend, so you really don't announce yourself, period. The dark forest theory says that if you make a peep out into space and that gets noticed, you're more likely to be annihilated by an advanced civilization than you are to be befriended by them, because the unknown is, in nature, the unknown is usually treated as a threat.
But wouldn't such an advanced society have a way to protect themselves against any lesser being that didn't, they might be hostile.
Yeah, annihilation.
That's the method.
They don't need you.
But what?
They either destroy you or they assimilate you into it. It's the Reaper method from Mass Effect.
Right.
Because you as a civilization could grow to be a problem for them at some point. So why? I mean, you can't think about it. I think you can't think about it with the same moral code that we try to apply to, here, because it could be like in Ender's Game. It could be a hive mind where, the individual is not anything to that civilization.
Yeah, I feel like there's
different types of things that we have imagined, but you don't know what it could be. A hive mind would absolutely have no problem destroying something else.
True.
In most of our sci-fi, because the individual doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think being multiplanetary, you could be a civilization like us, but I think but if you're talking like multi-universe, like then you would have to transcend morality. You would have to either become a hive mind, or it would be you would learn to in a way like altered carbon. Like you would have to be able to download consciousness into like an android form or into a sleeve and make like life more trivial, not trivial, but like more disposable. Like, well, I could die, but as long as I saved my backup, it's no problem. I just reinsert myself.
Yeah, see, dude, I work for hours editing sometimes and forget to save. That'd be terrible.
Right.
And DB, I'm not talking about human nature. I'm talking about observed in nature on our planet. So it's not human nature. It's just the natural instinct of most creatures on Earth is to stay quiet, especially in the dark. Because typically you pop your head up, a predator is going to be hunting for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless you're the apex predator, there's always something bigger out there watching for you to pop up.
But then when you're the apex predator, it allows the others to gang up on you as well.
That's
if
true.
You become too dominant.
Yeah.
Or
right.
if you
wipe them out before they can gang up. That's the dark forest. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You don't let multiple civilizations pop up that if you can spot them, because if you are the apex predator, you clear them out. There's nothing that would say that aliens would be friendly in any way, especially if they're that much more advanced than we are.
Well, Davey Wild says, in nature, that's human nature. How are we to be sure that is the same nature as travelers?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The statement I was just responding to. I'm saying that's not human nature that I was saying. I'm saying it's nature on Earth. So it's not just human nature to keep your head down. It's every creature's nature to keep its head down, to avoid predators at all costs.
And you don't know what sort of twisted morality any of those other species would have as well.
That's what I mean. Is like we don't we don't fully understand all life on Earth. And again, how in any extraterrestrial life we would,
What is a woman?
right? What we don't, any extraterrestrial life, like we're assuming that they would have something similar to us, or like what maybe they would engage, because I don't know.
We'd make great pets. Porno for pyros.
Right. And again, what are we looking for? Like we would be looking for something that we might recognize. We could be observing extraterrestrials, but not even understand that they are extraterrestrials because we don't understand what we're looking at. So we might not even technically see it, if that makes any sense. So that's what's so weird about this, is that obviously it's a whole bunch of what ifs, right? We don't know.
Right.
But it's, I don't know.
And to Jesse's point, we did bother wiping them out for most of mankind's history. It's just recently that we've become what we call civilized, and we don't wipe out lower tech civilizations. Almost all of humans' history, we wiped out lower tech.
That's not true, because look at all the Neanderthals that are still around. Oh, wait.
I mean, if you developed a new metal, and you went from bronze to iron or whatever, you had the advantage. It was conquest. That's the majority of human history is conquest.
What was it? We literally have lower tech situations on our planet. Why would they bother wiping us off if we don't do it? Well, yeah. We don't see, that's the thing, is we don't now necessarily, because I think humans have evolved in a way that we
A respect for life in
Yeah,
some areas of the
But
world.
what about if they didn't learn those lessons? Or they've learned different lessons?
But wouldn't you? And again, this is assuming that all beings sort of follow the same path as us,
Same moral code.
right? Like they wouldn't. Yo, Static, what's up, man?
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
As you evolve and become more technologically advanced, like I guess how it works in my head is that in order to get to that place, you need to have a stronger moral code, because it requires the resources, a broader pool of resources, in order to perpetuate that technology and move forward. Like you need more people to develop the thing that you need to get, to another planet, to another solar system, to whatever, another dimension. So that in turn would require a greater respect or morality for life. So,
Morality has nothing to do with it when it comes to conquest, though. If their whole point and purpose and the way in which they develop technology is purely and simply for the art of conquest, then where's the value of life or morality in that?
Or the theft of technology.
Yeah. What about if they're a really good warring race, but they're just not really spacefaring, or they're limited in that sort of thing, and then another, as you say, friendly alien comes in and we'll take that. Now that we got a basic understanding, we can start developing our own shit.
I don't know if you've been listening, Static, but
a little bit. I was hanging out.
Shag's gone all Gene Rottenberry on us and thinking all the aliens are going to be nice and friendly, and it's going to be one big utopia.
Yeah.
I don't think we experience aliens in our lifetimes.
I think you're probably right there.
No, February.
I think we're still pretty too retarded for them.
Maybe. But what about the idea of maybe they're here, but we're incapable of observing them? Like
there's people out there that think that there's aliens walking amongst us, and we commune with them daily.
I'm not saying that, but like, okay, put it this way. And I don't know this, but like if an ant is standing next to your boot, does he fully understand what it is that he's standing next to? Like, is he able to comprehend what it is that is there? Or, do you know, like something similar to that?
Yeah. Like the Men in Black thing with the tiny galaxy in the marble.
Right.
Type situation.
Right.
Yeah. That's the kind of thing I think about, is like they could be walking amongst us, but not in the way that you're, hearing people say.
Right.
you know, I don't think it's like a they live type thing. It's more of a like where we're truly like we can't we as a whole we can't comprehend them. They're just a higher form of being.
No, I'm completely open to that idea. For the longest time we were looking for like other carbon-based life forms, and I was always like, why does it have to be a carbon-based life form? Like, can't they just be a gas or something? I don't know. Like,
yeah, no, of course. Let me see.
Well, carbon could be the same thing.
right.
But do you mean like maybe they're not a corporeal?
Just something completely corporeal, or just something that would be completely out of our spectrum of understanding. I guess kind of like what Shag's saying, but he's more of like,
You mean like all the weird fog that suddenly started appering?
yes,
across
all the
United
weird
States
fog
that
with the
has
microplastics that everyone's inhaling. Yes, yes. I haven't really looked much into the fog thing. I saw
I've
someone
just seen
trying
it
to say it
pop
was
up
like
on Twitter,
leaving
but-
weird bubbles in their pool. That was like the only weird thing that I saw.
That
about
one
it.
I know is debunked because that was just a dirty pool with white mold, white algae.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh no.
But I do think I find it funny that if we were to find a single cell organism on Mars, then we would declare that there's life on Mars. When
Oh boy, here we come.
we can't
didn't we
figure
do
out
that?
what a single cell organism is here sometimes.
Didn't we do that though? Weren't they trying to say that like years and years ago?
But
That
I
we
don't know
found-
that they ever found anything.
I thought
were
that they
saying
said
if
that they
we
found
a single
something.
cell.
They said that they found water, and I thought that maybe they found something in what was the water or something. I don't know. I could be.
Well, they found a frozen
misremembering.
substance, but they haven't actually been able to get to observe any of it.
Okay.
They're just the machines say, well, this is what this would be, but they don't even know if that's the case.
Yeah, this was like
It's more likely to be water than not. Is how they put it.
I want there to be life elsewhere. Like I do. Like I want all this stuff that Elon's talking about to come true. Like I want
What
him
if
to be
what if
able
we're
to
the,
go.
what if we're the first? What if we're the first life? What if we're the last?
Isn't that the saddest thing?
it's a big waste of space. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Shags froze up again.
Oh, I thought he was emphasizing for a really good point there.
I died. Yeah, but wouldn't that? I mean, it would be in one hand, it would be a miracle, right? We're just miracles in the universe,
Or we were created.
or we are created. But like, what is that line from Contact? Like, if we were the only people here, it would be an awful waste of space. Like, that doesn't seem to fit with anything. Like, it's just us and nothing. Just a bunch of gas giants, a bunch of empty planets. There's no way. Statistically, that has to be impossible.
No, it's just a
Really?
matter of timing. Yeah,
Statistically, the fact that a whole bunch of primordial ooze came together to actually form something that could be an amino acid that could then form into every part of life is an impossibility. For it to happen multiple times, like even with your thoughts, if there were multiple civilizations and we had full, catastrophic events on the planet and we started over again, that would mean that it would have had to have happened multiple times on Earth, which would be even crazier.
Right.
So the belief that there's a ton of life out there doesn't mean anything to me. It wouldn't bother me at all if there isn't.
Right. I mean, to Tox's point, like, I don't think our brains are capable of understanding how vast the universe truly is. But even beyond that, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like, I think because like civilizations rise and fall like in a fairly short amount of time on the cosmic scale, that it could be totally possible that we're the only ones right now that are around. But like, again,
that's what I'm saying. We could be. It's not that we all aliens come from us. I'm just saying it could literally be a matter of time. We think 8 billion years is a long time. Maybe it's a scoop of water in the ocean when it comes to time.
yeah.
maybe space just isn't big enough yet.
And maybe the laws of physics cannot be broken to have faster than light travel, all that kind of stuff. Warp drives, all the things that we have imagined may not be possible. So you may never see anything because nothing could ever leave their solar system, or it would take too long for anybody to ever actually bump into each other.
Right. I get, and that, was there Soul Silence said, is there life possible? Can they develop technology and survive the vast distances to get here? Is unlikely. Yes. And not only that, but you would need a civilization that either spawned at the same time as us and is sort of like in that, that same window, or, maybe tens, thousands of years before and are just ahead of us. And even then, does that mean that they would have technology, or are we going to reach a point? Does technology reach a point that, again, you won't hit the a light barrier? Is it even possible to even somewhat approach the speed of light? Because again, as your speed increases, your mass increases, all that stuff, and you just kill you. Is there any other mode of transportation? That's why if I'm going to subscribe to anything, I want to subscribe to like maybe there's a way to bend space time, even though it's probably crazier than traveling super fast. I don't know.
Old space like in Dune.
Yeah.
Zendaya could do it.
Yeah, if she can do it, anybody can
Then
do
she
it.
should fold the space.
It's her
before
movie now.
eyes.
It's infinite. That's how much space she's bending around herself.
She's
Have
not
any of
very,
you? Was that?
I said she's not very big.
No.
Just bend around. I don't know.
Have any of you guys watched the Dune prequel at all?
No.
I watched.
I
the first
started
episode
watching
and it
Dune
was so
Acolyte.
trash.
Dune Acolyte.
Yeah, I got to the part, the one at the betrothal scene, and they're like, "This technology is forbidden, blah blah. This is punishable by death. Can I have it back?" Yeah, sure. There you go, kid.
Yeah, we'll let you
I'm
off.
just like,
Because the Butlerian Jihad was not a thing. Wiping out every robotic brain ever.
What?
no,
They
it never
totally
happened. That's just
skipped that?
that's just propaganda.
Wait, they got rid of that whole thing?
What?
The Butlerian Jihad?
No, the Rishazi kid had a little toy that obviously was computer had a computer in it because it acted on its own. That would be the whole thing that Dune is completely against. Everybody in Dune is completely against any computer mind, any machine that thinks like a man.
Hi, kitty.
So the fact that they were just like, hey, you should be put to death. Nah, we'll let this one go. Wouldn't be a thing. The whole family, the whole Richizian line, they would have immediately gone and investigated everything going on that planet. Found out that the Richizians were building things that were flaunting the rules, and they would have taken them out.
Yep.
So the show was dumb from the very beginning.
Bummer. Well, I guess I won't waste my time with it then.
No, I
Oh no,
wouldn't.
no, you definitely should watch it. 100%.
Was it DB Wild says, who is to say that science fiction is not simply glimpses into what is given to a few to spawn ideas that we could strive to make a reality? Interesting. I mean,
Elon's trying to do it with Terminator, so
yeah.
because with the rate that he's having kids, it's most likely one of his kids that's going to be the savior because he's got that many of them.
Right. Yeah.
Or Jesse, one of the two.
Yeah. It'll be Jesse or Elon, one of the two.
Or quarter black.
Yeah. Voyager 2 went out of the solar system, still sending back data, and it was big blobs of gravitational forces that humans probably could not survive. Oh, outside of the solar system? Interesting.
Yeah, Voyager's exited the solar system at this point.
There's a whole bunch of stuff in space. Like I have to stay off the internet some days because there's like the moon landing deniers are like the worst because like you like listen to them, you're like, fuck, like should I believe this? And then I'm like, no, don't believe that nonsense. But then again, you hear you keep hearing people talk about it, and I'm like, I need to stop listening to it. It just gets in the way. Because like one of the things I heard was there's no possible way to get to the moon because of like the radiation outside.
Yeah, that's a new one that's going around. Yeah.
Yeah, because of after low Earth
What
orbit.
they were saying was the radiation, while in that short term won't be deadly to humans, it will definitely affect the film.
Yeah.
So they said, well, that way the film that we got couldn't be there.
It's so stupid. Well, and then I realized how stupid people are, because like even they did an experiment in Antarctica, where a flat earther YouTuber who made like a living off of his flat Earth shit. A guy brought him to Antarctica, where it's a 24-hour day, in the solstice, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. It was totally sun's up all day. The only way it could be that is if it's on a globe." And there were still flat earthers denying the fact, like, "Oh, that's all smoke."
Yeah, he sold out. What happened to him when he went on that boat? We don't know. He didn't do any communication for 2 days. And now all of a sudden he's saying, "Yeah, it's real." They got to him. They paid him off.
So dumb, dude.
It's the biggest set of mirrors ever to make it seem like it was day for 24 hours.
Yeah. DB, I'm not a moon landing denier.
No, he's asking if you're a moon landing denier.
Oh, yes, I. Sorry.
So are you denying that there are moon land deniers?
Am I denying that there's no? There are moon landing deniers. That's
then you're not a moon landing denier then.
Yeah, you couldn't be because you believe that they exist.
I hate it here. It was a mistake bringing this show back, everyone. We're done. Bye. My cat seems to really like it. You're being so lovey tonight.
Look out, you'll take your eye out. And watch his documentary on it, Captain Marvel.
Yeah. I have two cats. I have this one here is girl. She's declawed in the front, and the boy has claws, and we just got a dog. And the dog's 4, it's a yellow lab, lots of energy, but very curious.
I thought you said you got a duck. I was like, okay, it's interesting. Yeah, it's an interesting pet to have around 2 cats.
So the dog has been very curious about the cats, not like attacking or anything, but just been like, "Hey, what's this thing?" And then the boy cat has been very like territorial. And the other day, like kind of like went at him, but I didn't notice at first, but had got him right in the nose. It was like 3 claw marks right across the dog's nose. I felt bad. But
they'll do that.
Fuck around and find out, I guess. Oh, excuse me.
Well,
Really
I guess he learned his
dog,
lesson.
The dog would have taken care of it.
Talk says the reason the U.S. stopped going back to the moon was moon dust. It has bits of glass in it that tore through the suits. They almost lost an astronaut in Apollo 17 because of it. Yeah, I heard that in like Transformers, right? No,
they do. They explained it. They lost the technology. And as you know, once you lose technology can never come back.
Right.
There's been no improvement in rockets or any sort of space traveling things since then. No materials. So yeah, why would they lie about it?
Right. Yeah, I actually just recently heard this. I didn't realize that was the case. Was that the moon dust or whatever is very sharp. I forget what the person had essentially. I mean, bits of glass. I guess that's maybe what they had said. They used another term to describe like kind of how it was, but essentially like once it's kicked up, it hits. It can rub on the suit and then obviously cause holes, which you don't want a hole in your suit when you're bouncing around the moon. That sounds problematic.
A little bit.
Yeah. Let me see. Tox is on a roll. Tox hasn't been here for like a year, and then he comes back. He's the chattiest person I've.
You haven't had a show for like 7 months.
Fair enough. I think our last one was
last March.
Well, yeah, last week. I think it was like July, or was it the first week of like August, maybe, or July?
No, it was March.
Was it really? No.
Was it that far back?
Yep.
9 months.
Right. Oh, it's been a while. They still do not have the glass moon dust issue solved. It's not in Mars dust, which is why Elon skipped the moon and went to Mars. All three companies trying to make the new suit for NASA gave up.
Yeah, but he's not skipping the moon. He said we need the moon as a staging point specifically to go to Mars.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
he
going to
can
build a
get there and
giant
back, but
slingshot.
he needs a staging point on the moon.
He's going to build a giant trebuchet and just launch it from there to Mars.
Yeah.
That's crazy though, because think about that. He's been successful at bringing the rocket into low Earth orbit and then back, right, and landing it on the platform. But like then everything changes once you get to the moon, because there's then you have to run tests all over again because there's no atmosphere there, or very, very little atmosphere, if any.
But that would make it
Very,
easier.
very different math.
Right.
It's
That'll
not
make
the,
it
it's
a
not the
lot easier.
atmosphere that's the issue. It's the thrust and everything, because 1/6 the gravity.
Yeah, you're not going to be. It's not going to be as hard because you
Yeah.
need less thrust. A, to slow yourself down, and B, to escape from the
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Earth
It's
to the
scary,
moon
though,
is
to
the harder
think-
part.
It's scary though to think that once you get to Mars, like, isn't there like a 2 or 3 year window where you just can't come home because planets aren't you're not aligned, and
Probably.
then you can't go through the sun, obviously. So that shit's scary.
Well, we don't know that yet.
What do you mean?
We don't know we can't go through the sun.
Oh, It's like,
Yet.
You have a point.
yeah, I think landing on Mars, it totally that whole thing, it blows my mind. I hope I see that in my lifetime. I think I will. I think we will. Like a real, a manned mission. I would think we see that.
He's aiming for like 8 years.
I know,
But the thing of it is that everything that he's building seems to be building for the one mission. You've got your
Every
vehicles that
business.
you can drive around, for the rockets that can land and go as you please. A
Starlink.
satelliting system. Like it seems like everything. Like someone said that if you're a time traveler and you went back in time and you had all the resources in the world, what would you do? You do something crazy. Like maybe that's what the whole thing with Elon is. Not necessarily that
boring-
he's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
boring
like-
business. I mean, every single thing he's doing leads to
Yeah.
his ultimate vision of getting to Mars. Even though there are things that are beneficial here on Earth, like Starlink and stuff. He wants Starlink. He wants to then put satellites around the moon and then satellites around Mars so that communications like 3 minutes, not the speed of whatever our communications are now. So
Isn't that like-
every single thing he's doing, like the Cybertruck,
Mhm.
that's made for Mars. It's not made for here. It's a prototype for what he
Dude,
wants
the
to use
Tesla
up there.
the Tesla battery. The
Tesla
one
battery.
thing that you're gonna need, like
You
it's
don't need fossil fuels on Mars if you've got the battery, as long as they can figure out how to get a nuclear reactor going to produce energy to then power those. I mean,
well. You've also got to understand he's basically playing a game. Like if life was a video game, Elon's probably one of the main characters. He's doing all of his side quests and waiting for the big mission at the end.
Yeah.
And then the sequel of the game is him actually building stuff on Mars, which would be like if they ended up actually colonizing Mars, that would be the craziest thing. The water issue is always going to be the biggest hurdle.
That's definitely what he's aiming for, because I don't think he wants to be the dude that just sends a bunch of people to Mars just to die.
right.
Well, so what happens in, like, say, for instance, 3 or 4 generations on of people growing up on Mars? Are they going to have like flat Mars people, like flat earthers, flat Marsers? They're gonna believe that-
Right.
Yes. Yes. There. Oh, Soul says, I would like to see us hit the Jupiter moon, Europa, is what you're talking about, that has seas under the ice, allegedly. That probably has life.
Yeah, but
That's
but
the
didn't-
most
but didn't
likely
they
place
say-
for life to exist in the solar system?
Yeah, didn't they say? But they think it's like lithium or something. That's
I was
not
gonna say,
water.
isn't it- or methane or something.
Liquid
Yeah,
methane.
A
Frozen.
methane sea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh.
there's isn't Neptune a methane sea?
I
thought-
believe so.
I thought Neptune was just gas giant. I didn't think it was
the
anything.
gas is methane.
Well, I mean, when you say sea, that makes me think liquid somewhere. So
Maybe closer to the core. I don't know.
Well, it's frozen. Neptune's frozen.
is it?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe Neptune's frozen. It's okay. It's been a while since I took
Yeah, haven't had to carry
these courses.
Oh man.
Yes, ogre with the flat Uranus. That is, yeah. I represent that comment.
Flat Uranus. Fusion is looking to be more possible in our lifetime. See, that I know nothing
You
about.
probably need it for Mars, because the other thing you would need for a nuclear reactor on Mars is water.
Yeah.
Because the way a nuclear reactor works, it creates steam from water. It's not.
Well,
That's what
unless
generates the power.
yeah, but not only that, they also use the water for cooling as well. So
you need a lot of it.
What if there was a more efficient delivery system, maybe with the big sheets of ice and everything like that? I mean, that could be looking what they're trying to do as well.
What if Elon, just because of the reusable boosters and rockets, just figures out a delivery schedule?
That's insane, though. That's probably the most inefficient way ever, wouldn't it
That
be?
would
Dude,
be how
imagine the
something like
post.
this would start. I mean, inefficient, but
Yeah.
Well,
the
how was the
ability to
first? How was the first mail delivered to America?
That's a fair
Inefficiently.
point, but we're on the same planet, so it's a little different.
We're in the same
It's-
universe.
a
What's the
separate
difference?
continent going across the Atlantic Ocean was almost like a separate planet back then.
Takes 8 months to get there. It's going to take the same amount to travel there. It's basically doing the same thing as what the Pilgrims and everything did, but just on a
Calculate in the losses.
yeah, on a larger scale. You're just playing the level 2 version of the map.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
The only thing is, Mars probably has 0 resources, whereas the Americas at least had resources that you could live off of. Grant, it's me and you,
Is it okay?
unless Static's still around.
I'm here.
Okay,
He's gone.
Shags had to step away.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That happens. So
So-
the big
Go.
thing about getting there, I think, is cabin fever. That's a big thing they're going to have to worry about within the pod. You're going to have to be very mentally tough.
You think
Because
that'll
they're not
be a
gonna
bigger
be-
problem than scurvy?
That would also probably be an issue, but I assume that they would have stuff like that.
Some fruits.
Yeah, some fruits, some vitamin supplements. But
I was
like,
just joking,
well-
because that's what got most people on the voyages over was scurvy.
well, yeah, but I mean that's a legitimate thing. Like I said, it's the same problems that were before, just on a larger scale.
Wouldn't it be funny if we repeated those mistakes? Like that would just
We
seem-
will.
That would just be so human of us.
That's what we do.
Yeah. Ah,
So
shit.
you'll get there, and there'll be space Indians and Mars buffalo, and then it'll be the same thing all over again.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
On
want
the
to see a
cabin
Mars
fever.
buffalo. I would like
Depends
to
on
see
how
a
many
Mars.
people are going on each individual mission to Mars as to whether I think cabin fever would become an issue, because
Has there
it's not like
been
you're going to be
a-
completely isolated.
Has there been a number of like what Elon would see going the first trip? Has he said anything like that?
Didn't he do signups?
You'd have to do minimal, like my guess is, I don't know, I'm just speculating, and I think if you're smart, you would send like your first manned crew. Would be-
17.
That's really 17.
He needs 17.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's without any
Big ass shit.
redundancies.
Oh,
I mean, it seems like That's a lot of people. I mean, maybe it's because I've watched too many sci-fi movies, but it's like,
But what my thing is getting there. What sort of ship is it going to be? It's just going to have to be basically like a submarine.
It's going to have to be
You're going to
more
be
than
stuck.
one.
You're going to be stuck in like that for like 8 months.
right.
They're going to have to send 34 because they're going to have to send more than one ship to fit all those kinds of people in, I think. And then
You'd
you have to have
send another ship with supplies, or leave enough room for supplies in each ship.
and if something happens to one of those ships that's carrying one of your specialists, you need a backup for the specialists that were on that ship. Like,
Redundancies.
Yeah. So I think the redundancies of what they'll be looking for are people that are like multi-faceted. Someone who's a biological scientist, but is also a carpenter or something else like that. Those will be the people that'll end up going. So you've got built-in redundancies without having to have an extra person.
Or maybe they'll just send a computer with all the YouTube videos downloaded.
There you go.
Or what's going to happen is he's just going to send a bunch of his robots there, and they're going to do it all.
the
That
robots
is also part of what
with
he's
Brock.
doing.
There you go.
I did see his tweet. Someone he retweeted someone. I don't know if he's being funny or what, because it's hard to tell nowadays with him. But someone asked like, what would be the best government to set up there, and his like quote tweet was like, "Oh, a direct democracy would be would be the best thing." And I was just like, "Wait, what? Is he serious? Like direct democracy?"
Well, he said a direct democracy on Mars for Mars itself.
I guess
So
we've
not
got
having
17 people.
a representative from Mars to try to be part of Earth's government.
Do you think he's from Mars and he's just trying to get back? It's
It
like
could
his
be.
time machine or his ship. Like he has all the knowledge in the world, and he needed to be able to do it. And he's like, well, I know Amazon's going to go under, so I'm not going to create that because there's some other alien doing that one. Facebook's been created by a robot, so let's do Amazon. Let's do PayPal.
Like he's actually the guy from Stranger in a Strange Land.
Yeah.
He's actually him trying to get home instead of going the other way. Wow. Yes. That is I just I don't know. Like the logistical nightmare
Dude,
that
even the houses that he builds, the houses that can be built in 2 hours.
Those tiny houses. Yeah.
The tiny houses. Like, I mean, they're all hermetically sealed as well. Like everything he's doing, he's setting up. Like he's literally like Shepard going around doing all the side missions to gather all the pieces.
He's smart for sure. I mean, I think that's how you get something like this done. Omnias, has Elon said exactly why he's doing all this to Mars stuff? Because he sounds like he's trying to leave for good. I think. Well, he's just said the importance of our survival is to be multiplanetary, is what I've gathered from it.
To avoid an asteroid or a comet taking out humanity, you have to be on multiple planets. Is his idea. That's why he thinks we need
redundancies.
Yeah.
Correct.
But we've already seen this whole thing play out in Total Recall, the original, because there is no reboot or remake. Like I just think it becomes a logistical nightmare of like, well, how does this place become governed? Because you're a private company is essentially going to Mars and setting up shop.
You set your private company up like a religion, and that's how you do it. You do it like back in the day, like and that's how it goes. You've got one person who's worshipped beyond belief, not necessarily saying it's going to be Elon, but one of his descendants, and that's how it goes from there. It's the only way to be able to do it. For doing a direct democracy will destroy everything that's there, 100%.
Well, if you had a direct democracy there, they can vote to have any other type of government that they choose. The whole point, I think, is he's saying that they should govern themselves. They shouldn't be answerable to any actual government on Earth.
No, it'll probably be a technocracy. It'll be one of the AIs that's in charge that makes all the decisions, and people just do what it says.
Apparently, 41 minutes ago, there was a mass shooting with 11 people reported shot in Queens, New York. So
in New York?
Yep.
Oh man, it's like one of the safest places ever.
Uh-huh.
It's Sorry, that's not what funny. This was funny. 3 months after the first human lands on Mars, there'll be a Dollar General built, maybe 2.
They'll get there. They'll get there, and there's already a Starbucks.
Oh man, dude, what is with this world, man? I'll tell you what. I don't know. I think part of it is, something like this happens, and they just make these people into martyrs. They make them into like celebrities, and that's why people keep doing it. Like, well, posthumously, I'll be a celebrity. Everyone will love me.
That's why you should never.
They will know my
or
name.
Picture of a school shooter or any other shooters.
But let people know what and who they were.
Right.
Well, even dude who Mangione or whatever the fuck his name is, like they parade him out within his jumpsuit and all these cops with like rifles. It's like, this is like, what is this, a movie set? Like, what is this?
Kid that pissed himself when he actually got caught.
Okay, so the picture of him pissing himself, that's not fair. Who knows how long he was sitting in there and they wouldn't let him use the pisser. Okay, like that's a thing. They like to abuse people like that when you're taken into custody. But isn't it amazing how much we know about this Luigi Mangione and the guy from New Orleans already, and we still don't know jack shit about either of the dudes that tried to take out Trump.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah,
but it's just wild.
And the fact that the 2 guys who tried to take out Trump just out of the news cycle, 24 hours, 48 hours.
Oh yeah.
Well, that, and then I saw an interesting TikTok, because you guys know how much I love TikTok, of like no one talking about how the pictures of the actual shooter, right, that was there on the sidewalk looked like had totally like a different color backpack and like shirt or hoodie than he did.
His backpack was beige and then brown and then blue. So
which I guess so here's everyone's like, oh well, you could have changed his shit. Why would you change into the same outfit but different colors? Like, I mean, I guess it's possible, like try and throw him off a little bit, but like if I'm changing my clothes, like I'm putting on a Hawaiian shirt, like I'm gonna shave my head and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
so some of the colors might have been just the different cameras and the lighting, because there was 2 pictures where they looked very different, where the colors looked very different. But if you look at the flooring was exactly the same, just different colors.
Kind of like the blue dress, gold dress thing, or
well, it was blue.
Yeah,
actually,
it was blue and black.
I saw it both
gold and white.
So
I
saw
wow,
blue and the gold and white.
The fact, I think he wanted to get caught. He sat there in a fast food place, not disguising himself in any way. He still had the gun on him. All that kind of stuff says he was screaming, "I want to get caught and get my 15 minutes." I mean, you're not going to escape from something like that.
So the only thing that I've heard that was convincing that it was him was the fact that any like real like serial killer at some point has been caught. Like most of them are caught with like stupid traffic offenses. Like it's always something stupid that gets a lot of these people caught. It's never anything like they don't go on the run and like giant manhunts forever. Like, but and they're not taken down in like a blaze of gun fight. Usually, it's usually something stupid.
Also, don't get caught on camera when they're committing their only murder.
Right. But
serial killers don't just do one murder too. So
right.
Yeah, he wasn't a serial killer. He was an attempted hitman.
Right. But what I mean is like a lot of these like these big things, big manhunts that happen, like the guys either get bored and are caught on something stupid, like a traffic violation, and like they usually have like all this stuff, like their calling card stuff, like on them. Like a lot of times they have stuff with them. So like a lot of these big things do end in similar ways as this. So that was like the one thing, like when I heard the guy explaining it, I was like, oh, okay, like maybe this is one of those things, but it's just like, it still didn't add up with how it started versus how it ended. Like, I'm like too short a time. Like this should have gone on for maybe
the
another.
the best thing about the whole thing about him being caught in at like McDonald's and everything was the immediate reaction from Burger King. He said, and they said we wouldn't have snitched.
Yeah.
I just thought
No, it was Popeyes, wasn't it? Didn't
No, it
Popeyes
was
say it?
Burger
no,
King.
Popeyes would snitch.
Oh,
They would
oh.
snitch.
Popeyes would snitch. Popeyes is the worst customer service out there.
But Shags, nothing about what this guy did was smart in any way. And he's on CCTV shooting a guy out in the open on the street. I mean, there's nothing
was
that
the guy
says that
go-
this
what
guy
the- what was the guy
smart
going to
in
a
any
hotel?
way. What's that?
Why was the guy going to a hotel?
They were having their earnings call,
Yes.
conference call that day for the.
Did anyone
company.
find any definitive proof if they actually continued to have that meeting afterwards? Like, was it the
Uh,
actual earnings call, or
didn't hear
was it just a
anything.
different?
I don't think it was the actual earnings
Yeah.
call. I think it was an internal
Right.
corporate call or meeting of some kind. But and it was known that he was going to be there. I'm surprised he doesn't have any bodyguards because he's the CEO of a company, or have
Yeah.
any security when you're traveling. To
Yeah, see, I thought he must have been
to a
going to a
major
cheap
city.
hotel to see his mistress or something.
No, he was there for business reasons.
And it was the ass cracking dawn too, so that would have made sense.
Well, but yeah, what I mean, Brahma, is like do I think it was smart what he did? No, like, but I'm saying like it was fairly calculated, and like for all intents and purposes, he could have probably gotten away had he not gone to fucking McDonald's and took his mask off and sat there and blah, blah, blah. Like the person who was there in the beginning, mask up, couldn't be seen, whatever, did the thing, walked away.
He could also barely hit a target.
Did he?
Well, he shot
when
him
he
in
shot
the
him
leg
several
and
times
then
in the back?
and then he
Yeah.
finished it off after. I think he did it intentionally. I don't know. I think he wanted him to know that he was being executed. I don't think. I mean, he could have just walked up and shot him in the back of the head, but he actually shot him in the leg first, and then in the back, and then finished him off. So that seemed kind of personal to me. But it turns out he didn't have insurance with that company. He just doesn't like.
Do we get a
doesn't like
televised
health
trial?
insurance. What's that?
Do we get a televised trial?
No.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
And Shags, the thing with the mask, at this point, we're 5 years removed from COVID. Having the mask on is more suspicious than having the mask off. That
Yes.
would draw attention to you going into anywhere, having the mask still on.
I see you wearing a mask now. I think you're up to something.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like before COVID, when people didn't walk around
Uh-huh.
in freaking masks, hiding their
Well,
faces, going
if
into
I see
banks
s-
and whatnot.
Yeah, if I see someone with a mask on now, I'm like, oh, that guy's got COVID. It's the only reason that they would even think about wearing a mask.
Well, what I mean with the mask is like, I mean, he's hiding who he is, his identity prior to that.
But that may
Like-
have been what drew attention to him.
Maybe.
Or the firing of the guns.
Right. Yeah, that's probably more like it.
Plus, he's
yeah.
a freaking idiot who went to Starbucks and started hitting on a chick and took his mask off before he put the mask back on to go kill the guy.
I
So,
really need to
I mean,
get a coffee
he's not
before I take this guy out.
this guy. It may be calculated and that he figured out where the guy was going to be and then did it. But overall, I think the guy's just an absolute dumbass. Nothing he did said, I'm going to avoid being caught in any way.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. But that's what I mean. I was like,
Don't make
After-
your getaway vehicle a push bike.
after the fact, yes, because he got away. They didn't know where he was until someone saw him and then reported him. They didn't know where he went. He walked away from that, got on a bike, as you guys are saying, and disappeared until he just showed up where in
But that's
Pennsylvania.
also very short-term
Pennsylvania,
planning
yeah.
just to get away from the scene. I mean,
But
sure,
that's
you could
what
plan
I'm
out
saying
that
is
part, but
people who do this as a crime of passion, who are stupid and don't know what they're doing, don't walk away and then hop on a bike. It's a clumsy like run away or get in a car and speed away down the road, and they're terracing through Midtown. Whatever. This is not what happened. Like
Right,
that's
he
what
may
that's
have-
what I'm saying. Like in my
He
head,
may
I
have
think
been calculating a plan for that short amount of time to get it done and try to the initial getaway. But the fact that he took off his mask just a few blocks away at the Starbucks and then didn't get rid of the gun, didn't get rid of anything, had a manifesto, all of that says
that
I was trying to
manifesto
be caught.
sus. Getting caught with a manifesto on you with a gun,
Even
that
if the
shit's cringe.
manifesto's sus, I mean,
I hope the
not getting
manifesto's
rid of
written
the
on a
gun.
quarter pounder wrapper or something.
I just whatever.
Quarter pounder comes in a box.
Fuck, write it on the box, even better.
Oh man, I think if this guy really, I've already said this on one of my other streams, but like I think if this guy really was like wanted to get caught, he would have capped that guy in the street, knelt down with his hands behind his head, and made his stand right there, being like, "I did this shit because I wanted to send a message to this dumb motherfucker. He screwed people out." You know, instead he like, "Oh, I'm gonna go for a walk and then a ride, and then I'm gonna get caught." That to
That
me,
would
New York
have
City,
that would
that
have
would-
made him even bigger than what he is now. To these
But in New York
fanatics.
City, it would have taken 10 to 15 minutes for the cops
Right,
to
you're
respond. He would have
absolutely
just been
right.
sitting there waiting, like, come on, guys.
At least now he could have went and finished his espresso and
I suppose so.
Mhm.
Anywho, fuck. Either way, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
but I'm with you. If it's him, we don't know if it's him or not. I
Right.
completely see that aspect of it as well because it's very convenient. Yeah, that's why I want a
Well,
televised
there's
trial.
also
I
the
want to see
weird-
how this shit plays out.
There's
Yeah.
also the weird picture thing with his eyebrows and the unibrow versus split eyebrows, blah, blah, blah.
So I'd even heard
And-
like people were looking at the bridge of his nose. There was the video I saw was he was a not a sketch artist, but like he did hand like portraits. Like he drew portraits of people for his work for like 25 years. And he's like, I can look at someone and like, you know, people have very distinguishing marks usually. He's like, yes, cameras can distort a little bit, but he's like, in this situation, it's very, very different people that we're looking at here. And I was like, okay. Now, again, they could be just saying this to like for their own clicks and their own money, but I don't know. It's there's enough here to make me question whether we have the right person. So, you know, maybe we do. Maybe it's cut and dry, open shut case. The guy's going to rot in hell. Maybe he's a patsy.
I'm just more inclined to think that it was probably something that the government coaxed him into do, not that it's the wrong person.
Right. And here's the thing, right? And everyone calls me crazy, but like you have, I've talked about this on my own, and Static has heard this, have me say this, but and maybe you guys have. Like we have the Gulf of Tonkin, we have MK Ultra, we have all these things that the government was involved in that they lied to us about that are provable. And then something like this it's not a stretch to think that he could have been somehow hired to do this, to cause.
Well, the good news is maybe we have Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard in charge in 19 days, and we start getting some answers on some of this crap.
That would be fantastic. I would love to see that.
And I don't know if you ever will, even with them, like, you know, but this,
No,
We-
I
we
think
could-
Kash Patel is
Cash
dead
Patel talks a
serious.
big transparency game.
well,
I
you
think
better
he's
deliver
dead
then.
serious about this stuff coming out.
Everyone talks a big transparency game until they're, you know, even Trump was
Yeah.
like, I'm releasing the JFK files.
I know.
Nothing, fucking jerk. You know,
He
like-
released them. He just redacted a lot of shit.
right. Like that's not releasing. Like, here's the pages,
Well-
but they're all black.
You just give me a theory about the Mangione, whatever his name was. Maybe that's the reason why he left. He had to go to the person who hired him, or maybe at that moment he didn't want to get caught. That's why he left, and the guy said, "No, you have to get caught. It's all a part of the plan," or whatever it was.
But see, we're sitting
That's
here
why it was so
questioning
obvious.
this, and the first shooter with Trump was sitting there training at a gun range that a whole bunch of Homeland Security trains at every day.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I mean, nobody's questioning any of that anymore. It just disappeared. Like I said, I mean,
This
It
is
is
the only
weird.
important shooting
Don't you know why though, Brahma?
They are overwhelming us with the things going on.
because
like
they
41 minutes
missed.
ago. Well, yeah, you missed. But I mean, 41 minutes ago, you've got another shooting in New York. I mean, it's just going to keep happening because they, in my opinion,
That
they
doesn't
are going to
doesn't they
spread
have
chaos
no
as
signs?
much as they can for the next 4 years. What, Grant?
They should have had no shooting signs and they would have been fine, like Chicago.
Yeah, kind of
There's
like
no
the
guns
subway
allowed
safe.
in New York, so
And the subway is safe.
Yeah, people seem to think when you put those
Oh.
signs up, it like makes your gun not work at all.
Did you see MSNBC when they say a woman caught on fire in the train station?
Right.
That's how they worded
she
what
got
happened to
lit
her.
on fire.
Just got.
She got caught on fire.
It
She
was
caught
so
on fire, like-
cold.
Arrow of her burning. She did not move. She didn't do anything. She didn't try to put herself out.
she had to have been wasted. I unfortunately saw
Well,
I'm
that.
sure
that's-
she was
that's-
just a vagrant, but I
And
mean,
that's
That's
the
that's why she went up because of her blood alcohol content.
oh, I was thinking fentanyl, but okay.
well, I mean, lighting a match and throwing it at somebody doesn't set you alight like that.
That's true.
Matches don't do that.
They
I mean,
got that
it's
guy,
hard to
right?
keep a match going. Yeah, they got.
Okay, because I also saw that they got the other dude that just pushed someone in front of the subway yesterday.
Yeah, the guy sat there on the bench, pointed at it, and was watching a burn.
Yeah, I know. Oh my god, he was fanning the flames.
Well, there was
And the
someone there that
cops
was.
walking by, like nothing. Like yeah, okay, nothing to see here. Doing their best, Bar Brady.
We're now up to 13 victims in Queens.
Wait, the shooting's happening right now.
No, well,
No, it
I think
happened
they're just
52
discovering-
minutes ago. They're just
Yeah.
trying to figure out how many people are actually shot. And
Where
13
was
have
it?
been
Was
shot.
it in a train station? A
At
subway?
a nightclub in Jamaica, Queens.
Wow, it's Jamaica, Queens.
Was that anywhere near the massive protest they had today?
I don't know. And there's no updates on conditions of the people that were shot. There's 13 people shot. Doesn't say whether dead or alive.
It's pretty sad.
It's a hell
But
of a New
we're
Year,
seeing
man.
like 2 or 3 of these things every day. So, I mean, the chaos. I think it's planned, but I think seeing we haven't seen anything that is linking people coming across the border to any of these actions yet. But I think I think there are a whole bunch of cells in this country now ready to unleash chaos for the next 4 years.
It's also just not a great area anyway. So I mean, there's that.
No, but it's been a crazy. We've had multiple days now of crazy events. We had a day where 3 planes crashed in one day, 24-hour period. Now we've had, 3 maybe terrorist events, 2 definitely situation, 1 definitely a terrorist event, 1 possibly. I mean, I would be leaning more towards Antifa being the Trump truck or the Trump Tower thing.
The guy blew up in that, right?
Yeah.
So we
Because he never got out of the car. He
don't know a
parked the
thing about
car
that,
at the door and then blew himself up.
Oh, the guy. So there was a guy that was in the truck that.
Yeah, he pulled
Goodbye.
up to the front doors of the Trump hotel, never got out of the car, and a couple minutes later, the vehicle exploded.
That's crazy.
And then you've
to
got
me.
a shooting tonight. I mean, that's all on one day, just like 3 airplane crashes in one day. I mean, things are not normal right now.
Mephisto. So 2 days and you almost feel like you live in Israel. Welcome to my world, you lightweights.
I get it.
Crazy
Mephisto.
thing is we actually don't. New York is so far from my house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't affect any of us.
Yeah, I live in good old Utah, so for me it's like nothing's happening.
You just
It's
got to
just
worry
wild
about
to
soaking.
watch.
Yeah. Done intentionally to keep everyone angry during Trump's presidency. Yeah, it's like the manipulation of all these things is what bothers me the most. And like it's never like about what's really happening. It's like, okay, how do we use this to our political advantage? To to cast doubt on Trump's leadership capabilities, even though he's not in office, or like it's somehow attached to some former policy of his, whatever.
Well, it's kind of like all those dumb bitches on Twitter and TikTok that are like, Trump has been president for like 40 days now, and what has he done?
Right.
It's like, no, your idiot is still in charge. That's why the prices are still where they're at, and nothing has changed, because Trump has no executive power until the 20th.
Yep.
I love how these low information people will sit there and make videos telling us how dumb they are.
What are the percentage of those actually being trolls, though?
That's true.
Possibly. But I think there's a good percentage of them that are
I'd like to think at least 50%, but I probably wouldn't give them that much of a benefit of the doubt.
50% of them are trolling 100% of the time.
Yes.
Oh man.
I don't know. World's a weird place right now.
It's a very, very weird place.
And the fact that we've got a president who went out on the news today, and because you can't figure out the punctuation in his sentences, I was talking with Grant earlier about this. So he basically came out and said, yeah, the FBI let me know that, the New Orleans, the Louisiana, I guess gunman / running over everybody, that he had released a whole bunch of stuff onto social media hours before the attack. It's like, okay, did they let you know that the way he said it? It's like, did they know?
He's like,
about
I knew
it
2 hours. I
before the
knew 2 hours
attack?
ago he was going to do it. Is the way
Right.
that he worded it.
Which is it, Joe? Did you know before the attack, and did the FBI know before the attack, or did they let you know that he released the information hours before the attack? Because he sure made it sound like, when I listened to it just the one time, made it sound like, yeah, he released the information, we knew about it before the attack. But you've got to.
Man, I just wish Jimmy Carter was around to see all this.
I know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Carter wasn't even around to vote for Kamala, because there's not a chance in hell that guy signed his signature on it.
Yeah,
I
right.
saw the craziest tweet the other day. It was like, if you guys think you're in a timeline shift, you're absolutely correct. Jimmy Carter died last year and 2 years ago. I'm like, what the hell? What?
I thought he died in 2022. I was looking for the article on him because I can remember him going, oh, I didn't even make 100.
So like,
He may have. They've been wheeling him around for months now with his mouth just.
I
mean, there's not a
it's okay.
chance
He'll
in hell
vote
that
next
guy
time,
voted
too.
for anybody. Yeah, he'll vote in the next 5 elections at least.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I will say, Carter was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. He may have been a nice guy, but he was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. And if they try to rewrite that crap, BS. You can be a nice guy and be a horrible president.
Yes.
Right.
Because
Carter,
they're trying to rewrite it like he was a good president. And it's like, no.
Dude, I remember that Sinbad Shazam movie.
Don't we all?
wasn't that one of the things that people thought was like a
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect? Yeah.
Yeah. I can vividly picture the cover of the DVD.
Same here. And it's gone.
It was like Sinbad with a wispy bottom half coming out of a lamp. And he's got like a purple vest on.
It was called Kazam. Is that right?
Kazam was the Shaquille O'Neal one.
Shazam was
that's
Shaquille. Yeah. Kazam, I think, was the Sinbad one.
Okay, yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
He had like the Indian, head thing on, and like a purple sequin vest on.
And they both came out like right around the same time. I remember as a kid, I was like, this is weird. Why do we have two Genie movies?
Hold on. This is saying, oh, wait. So this is interesting. Let me bring this up. So I didn't check the other link, but let me share this tab. There is no movie called Shazam starring Sinbad as a genie. This belief is often referred to as the Mandela effect, where many people vividly remember a movie that does not exist. But this here, says we found Sinbad Shazam genie movie. Is this right? Is this real?
I don't know. That's why it's I think this is probably fake.
If it's the one that has Mike Epps, if it's the one that has Mike Epps attached to it, then it's not real because Mike Epps was never attached to it.
Sinbad's long friend. Oh wait, no, maybe
this
not.
is a joke on
It's a joke.
That's a joke IMDb thing. But that is essentially what everybody who remembers the Sinbad.
Well, dude, and like I remember The Lion King coming in a yellow bloody VHS. And people said that that never happened. That was a Mandela effect.
That one I don't.
I don't even know what a cornucopia was. Let alone imagine it on the Fruit of the Loom.
I could have sworn Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia behind the fruit.
Yeah.
Same here.
Yeah, for Breeze, I always thought it had two E's. I was convinced of that.
And the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah, Berenstein Bears. Berenstein. That's a bit weird.
I'm
the
like
Mandela
really
effect stuff is weird. I'm
really
sure it's
upset.
The reactor.
Yeah.
Oh, the Monopoly Man having a monocle as well.
He doesn't have a monocle?
I don't.
He's never had a
remember that
monocle.
one. I think that was just getting it mixed up with Mr. Peanut.
Well,
I don't even. No, because we don't even have that over here. I don't even know what Mr. Peanut is.
You know who's responsible for the Monopoly Man then, or the monocle then? It's Ace Ventura. When Nature Calls, because the guy comes down the stairs with the monocle, and he says,
Mr.
"You look
Monopoly
like the
Man.
Monopoly guy."
Uncle Moneybags.
Like what the? I hate the world. Yeah,
But
and then
that's
the
not
Fruit
the
of the Loom
only.
had a cornucopia. That one's been debunked, I believe.
Well, that's the whole thing with Mandela.
What about
it's debunked for the people that don't believe that it actually had the cornucopia.
Curious George. That Curious George never had a tail.
Never had a tail.
But did all the toys do?
Weird.
Oh, and the big one that Nick is bringing up in the James Bond movie with Jaws, where he meets the chick. The joke
she had
only
braces.
makes sense if she had braces. Why would he?
She
give
has
a crap
braces.
about her, right? But she doesn't have braces in the movie.
And
But the joke only makes sense if she had braces.
Isn't there one where Forrest Gump never actually said life is like a box of chocolates? He said life is a box of chocolates.
Correct.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
don't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's just like The Empire Strikes Back. Everybody remembering Luke, I am your father, when it's like, no, I am your father.
Oh,
Was the
another
actual
one
line.
people are saying was from Lord of the Rings. People swear that Gandalf says "run, you fools," and I'm like, no, it's "fly, you fools." When
Fly or
he's
flee.
falling,
Yeah.
yeah, it was "fly, you fools."
Yeah, it was Fly.
Yeah, but apparently there's a huge subset of people that think that one. Those people are crazy. Everything else is correct. And also, New Zealand didn't move. Mad, if you're watching.
Hold
There's
on, I'm
another
checking
one that
something.
has to do with, I think, Scary Movie, where it was a joke that absolutely does not make any sense anymore.
Oh, what did Shags find, or did you just do a poo?
Do a poo?
Oh my god, I can't believe this. This is like shattering my reality.
Uh-huh.
Bring it up.
Yep, it's fun.
Life was like a box of chocolates. I fucking hate this. Like my whole world is just like,
Dude, I remember running around as a kid saying life is like a box of chocolates. Like,
Yeah, but the same thing with Star Wars.
See, I'm
even-
almost convinced that the original trailer, had "Life is like a box of chocolates" in it.
okay,
Maybe
that's possible.
But you could pull up the trailer.
yeah. Let me see if I can find it here.
But it's like even in Tommy Boy, when he's yelling into the fan, he says, "Luke, I am your father," and it never happens in the movie. but that's what everybody quoted it as.
This is from 12 years ago. Hold on.
Well, that's obviously a redone trailer then.
Right. Well, no, it looks like, I mean, it says Forrest Gump trailer 12 years ago. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like.
My name's Forrest Gump. Would you like a chocolate?
Oh, thank you.
It's funny what a young man recollects.
You're the same as everybody else. You are no different.
Your boy's different.
Hey, there's the biggest enemy villain in all of the movies.
I'm Forrest Gump.
She was my most special friend. My only friend. We was together all the time. We were like peas and
The
carrots.
irony is that she's the villain of this movie.
Yeah, she's a whore who gave him AIDS.
It's Jenny and I.
Hey, stupid!
Now, you wouldn't believe it if I told you, but I can run like the wind blows. Who in the hell is that? That there's Forrest Gump, Coach.
Just a local idiot.
I never thought it would take me anywhere. They even put me on a thing called the All-America team. Where you get to meet the President of the United States.
Congratulations. How does it feel to be an All-American?
I gotta pay.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
Now, maybe it's just me, but college was very
It's like the whole movie in this trailer.
Yeah.
The girl, Forrest.
Sit next to them in my home.
I don't think this was the original trailer.
Trailer
I'm
number one?
There's no way on TV they were playing a 3-minute 42-second trailer.
No.
Hello, my name's Forrest Gump.
That's the same one. Wow.
Sorry, Shags.
Shags' whole life is in tatters now.
Dude, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. And finding out that Shazam isn't a real movie all in one night. It's over.
You should just pull up one of the Mandela Effect videos then, and we should just go through it.
Oh,
Did you
man.
ever see the Mandela Effect movie?
Mm-mm.
There's
No.
a movie.
Yeah, most people don't remember it, or they remember it differently.
Jesus.
Ironically,
I'll be right.
yeah, it basically it turns into like a multiverse movie, and it starts off with this guy who he loses his daughter because she was holding onto the tail of Curious George,
Oh Jesus.
and then she let go of the tail, and then people are like, no, it doesn't have a tail. He said that yes, it does, and then it turns into this sci-fi multiverse what if sort of scenario. Let's see if I can find it.
I forgot about the Curious George tale. That was I could have sworn there was a book cover with him using his tail on a tree branch.
Yeah, it's from 2019. I'll put it in the private chat for you, Shag, so you can have a look. We'll bring it up. So if you watch the trailer, it'll explain it to you.
That human consciousness
Hey, Sam. Stay where we can see you.
is at the same time as being a form of awareness and sensitivity and understanding. It's also a form of ignorance.
Don't get stuck in here, you know.
The ordinary everyday consciousness that we have leaves out more than it takes in.
You remember the children's
That
book
kind of
we
movie.
read about the family of bears?
Berenstein Bears.
Berenstein. S-T-E-I-N.
Berenstain.
And because of this, it leaves out things that are terribly important. It leaves out things that would, if we did know them, allay our anxieties and fears and horrors.
Have you heard of the Mandela effect?
Plenty of people don't remember Sinbad being in a genie movie or Mandela dying in the 80s.
How do you explain to people that do?
I talked to Matt. He was worried that you're becoming fixated on this internet theory.
And if we could extend our awareness to include those things that we leave out, we would have a deep interior peace.
I don't know why this guy's doing the voiceover. This voiceover is by a black dude in the film, but they've got a
We
different
would
guy doing
all
that in the
know
trailer.
one thing that you mustn't know.
That's a Mandela effect.
I was going to say.
I'm looking for what's real, for the truth.
That is the lowdown on life. And the lowdown means the real dirt on things.
Brendan, there's something you're going to need to understand. Ideas are dangerous things.
Okay, first, what I want to say is that's how you do a trailer. It's a 2-minute trailer. I have the gist of what's going on, but they didn't expose everything about the movie in that 2 minutes. Conversely, you have the Amateur, a new movie with Rami Malek coming out. They reveal everything in the trailer that happens in that movie, and there's like almost no reason to go watch it. This looks cool. I've heard of this movie, but I've never seen it. But they don't seem to like. There's still plenty to like. Okay, what are they talking about?
Well,
what is?
I watched it when it came out, and then I saw a little short clip of it again. I was like, oh, I'm going to re-download it. Completely different ending, and I can't find the original ending that I saw. And I think they deliberately did that.
Of the Mandela
I hope so. That's awesome. That would be genius if they
but
did
it's
that.
almost impossible to do. You can't wipe the original ending from the internet.
Well, I saw it at the cinema. And then when they did their release, it doesn't even say theatrical version. But the same thing happened to me when I was trying to explain why I like the butterfly effects endings, and people were like, "Well, what are you talking about? He just saves." I said, "No, he doesn't. He goes back and strangles himself." And everyone's looking at me weird, and then I thought, "Oh God, this is the Mandela." Until I figured it out that they rewrote the ending for American audiences because it was too bleak.
Well, they had
there's three endings.
Yeah, they also say on the DVD you can watch the deleted ones. I like the original ending of him like telling her like that he was going to kill her basically, and then
No, that's not the original one. That's not the theatrical one.
What's the theatrical one?
Just because the theatrical one is the one where he strangles himself. That's the proper version of it.
Really?
Yeah, that's the proper one. And what happened was they changed it. Because it came out. It didn't come out everywhere at once. It came out in other places. They changed it for the American audience.
Okay.
Because everywhere else in the world saw the other way around.
That's interesting. That's a great movie. I watched it in Discord with King Deplorables, and it
breaks its own law, which is annoying.
Yeah.
Especially the hand thing with the in the jail cell. He would have always had them on there, and the guy said, "Well, what?" You said you always had those scars when you came in, and the fact that him doing that as a kid had no ramification on him in the future, I don't believe for a second.
Yeah, right.
Night, Mephisto.
Don't ruin
Happy New
this
Year.
for me, Grant. It's a great
We'll
movie.
pick another show I can ruin for you.
What else? What movie can? What cat?
What's your favorite movie of all time?
The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, well, that's just communist propaganda.
All right. The local news has just confirmed, because I'm here, that the driver of the Cybertruck in Vegas lived in Colorado Springs.
Huh. You see the weird attempts to try and connect that with the New Orleans one because both vehicles were rented from the same company.
Yeah, from Turo.
Sure.
We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, try and keep up, Static. All right, jeez.
Hey, you know what? I didn't come in. I didn't start listening. I was watching My Hero Academia. I saw you were live. I came in when you guys started talking about health insurance.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that we cover all the bases when we cover a topic.
Oh, McCracken tagged me in the Shazam thing. I guess it was a college. I think you guys may have said it was a college humor.
Oh yeah, I do remember them doing that. Yeah,
A Funny or Die thing.
yeah.
Oh man, cat. Yeah. Oh boy, what else happened? What else has happened this week?
This week?
This week?
This past week? What's been? Anything I missed? I feel like I'm sure a lot's happened, but
Well, we had Christmas, we had New Year's.
well, yes.
I stayed off of Twitter for the most part until yesterday for most of the Christmas break type situation. So I don't know.
Gorlock the Destroyer celebrated hitting the 500-pound mark.
I did see that. Yep.
I was pretty
Right
happy.
after being on New Year's Eve or before?
It was right before New Year's Eve, actually.
Congratulations to him.
Oh man, can't believe it. I don't know, man. Like growing up, you used to like celebrate people who were like in shape, who were like great at something, and now we're just celebrating fat, overweight men dressed as women.
Yeah, exactly. We could talk about the Whitney Cummings thing on CNN.
Oh
New Year's
yeah,
Eve.
where is that? I just saw that pop up. Actually, where is that? I saw the first like 2 seconds. I saw her tweet about it. And then I watched the first 2 seconds of it and I nearly died of cringe. Oh, here it is. It just popped up.
Yeah, mine did too. Libs of TikTok just posted it again, I think.
Whitney Cummings actually, but Whitney Cummings' actual thing just popped up. So,
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's see here. And I will preface this by saying I'm not a fan of Whitney Cummings. I haven't really ever been. So
I will re-preface that with, since she became a mother, she actually has gotten a lot better than her prior comedy. Because the 2 shows that she did, Two Broke Girls was freaking horrible. She was the driver behind that.
Yeah.
The only thing good about that was Kat Dennings' tits. And then the show that she did before that, where she was the actual star of it, was also horrible.
Oh, it was very
bad.
But
since she has become a mother, she has gotten a lot more involved in actually learning things about other people rather than just assuming everything about certain people.
Yep.
So,
all right, let's.
And this kind of shows it.
Yeah.
Let me be clear though. 2024 was not only negative. The media wants us to believe this country is so divided, but we actually came together a lot this year. Like as a nation, we unanimously agreed that we would rather see J-Lo in a toxic relationship than in concert. We all agree the government totally knows what drones are and are telling us the drones are still up there and we have no idea what's behind them. No idea. I mean, they're still up in the sky, so I guess we can rule out that they were made by Boeing. The point is, I think we all agree on
That's
a lot
actually
of
a good
things.
one.
And since I only have a minute left live on establishment media, why don't we just say a bunch of things that we know that they'll never cover? Okay, ready, go. Trump Shooter didn't have any silverware in his house. No one thought that was weird.
Oh shit.
Are we still rolling? Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia put money into Disney, so just know there won't be any girl characters in the next Cars movie. Are we still rolling? This is wild. Okay, why have so many presidents' chefs died? Weird.
Why did so many presidents' chefs
Boy
die?
Scout of America, they renamed itself Scouting America. You know who else changed their name? Sean Combs. Just saying. Let's learn something in 2025. I can't believe you guys are still letting me go. This is amazing. I love CNN. Please stop me, Andy, because I will just keep going.
Oh my god, it's like you could tell that she's like she's like just super nervous.
Yeah.
about it.
To say all that, yeah.
Oh my god, but she's not wrong.
She said more than that.
Did
She
she?
said they pushed Kamala on the way they pushed Kamala. She must have been sponsored by Pfizer or Moderna.
Oh yeah.
That's funny.
She said the party who is pro-choice gave absolutely no choice to anybody this year.
Yes, she did say that too.
I mean, she said a lot.
That's funny. I like how Andy did laugh, and then Anderson's just hiding behind.
Anderson's probably drunk off of his ass again.
I did see him taking shots. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I did love when they got a black guy onto camera and told him to have a drink, and he said the last time a black guy drank on New Year's Eve, you guys fired him. Don Lemon.
Oh god. That's true. Oh man.
I mean, the whole CNN thing is just a shit show. I mean, there's 14,000 people watching, so who cares? But it was great that Whitney Cummings actually went out there and just destroyed them. But
Yeah.
she has been doing tours where she is actually doing Q&A type stuff, roasting type Q&A at the end of her shows. And she's learning about people in different parts of the country. And she has attributed it to, I'm a mother now. I actually kind of care about what's going on in the world.
Imagine that.
Exactly.
It's funny, like that would be the perfect example. How long are we going for, Mad? I don't know, like half hour, 45 minutes, maybe. Probably hard out at that point. I don't want to go 5 hours.
He just texted me. I said I texted him before the show. Are you coming on the reboot? He just texted 1 minute ago. When?
Tonight.
He probably needs the link though, because we added him to the group after the link was already in the private chat, so he won't be able to go back and see it.
Oh.
If we're going to have him on.
I forget what I was talking about now.
Whitney actually becoming a mother and that changing her life.
Oh yeah,
That
like
rebooted.
I've said this a couple times about how like becoming a parent was like I think one of the big things that shifted me in different directions, and like that's the point. It's always been the point, and like I think a lot of people try and say to others is like it's all well and good to say, I don't know, one way or another about a particular thing when you're single. But when you get married and have kids, like it's a totally
Actually
different.
responsible for another life. You start looking at things a little bit differently.
Yeah, and not always, but like I think just giving up because of like, oh, the world's so bad right now. It's like, yeah, but it's not all that bad. You have a chance to make a good person, and maybe the people who are denying themselves the ability to do so, they shouldn't have kids, but I think if you want to change the world, have kids, because it's the only way it happens.
I can't understand the people who have kids and aren't automatically like put in get shit done mode. You know what I mean? Like when that happens, I think it triggers a lot of people to be like, oh, well, now I actually have to do something.
Yeah.
Well, responsibility for somebody else makes you start taking personal responsibility.
Yes.
Or it should.
Yeah, it should.
I mean, it should. I mean, it doesn't do it in everybody, like you said, but I mean, that kind of is the trigger for most people to grow the hell up, is having kids.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, now I'm no longer the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Static, what is this that you sent?
This is some Australian
the
chick that's
Australia
been
chick?
all over the place on Twitter.
Oh, is the one about the her record deal? They
canceled.
Yeah, she wrote a song 3 years ago,
and
and
I figured
they she had a 3-year contract with them, but within that she also had a non-compete thing, which meant they didn't release her album, they didn't do any of the tours, and she wasn't allowed to make a living doing music any other way. So she was put on the back burner
It on her own.
So you see, part of the reason I brought this was because the Australian was in here, and I thought I might get some good information.
Okay.
Because I'm
Yes, I'm
very
called
curious
Calm
about how
Again.
she just blew up out of nowhere.
Well, it's based lyrics. So
Kind of like the Richmond, north of Richmond.
Yeah. And she's got the brainwashing melody. You'll hear it. It's a good song. I mean, it's interesting.
Make
lyric.
sure you have captioning on so you can see the lyrics, because
I think they're automatically on the video.
Okay.
Man-made virus, watch the millions die. Biggest profit of their lives. Here's inflation, that's your pride. This is Carmageddon. Turn on the news and eat their lies. Kim or Kanye, pick a side. Cancel culture, what a vibe. This is Carmageddon. Corporations swear they never lie. Politics politicians brought for life. More than war, it's genocide.
Catchy tune.
Yeah, the
Nice
worm shot.
lyrics.
And
Matt
so
said
you're
he'll be
saying
here
she
in a
wrote
few
that
minutes.
3 years ago?
There was other stuff in it, but yeah, they had her on hiatus for 3 years.
Sounds
So-
about right, because Kim and Kanye would have been
Yeah.
a few years ago at this point.
I've seen like so many different, like she made like 30 music videos of just the chorus. And I'm like, how do you have all of this? Because there's just
Got
so
3
many
years to
different.
do it.
Actually wrote.
Silvar says those lyrics read like an AI parody.
Well, if it was 3 years ago, it was before AI was really doing stuff for us.
Yeah,
At
if
least-
it was 3 years ago, I mean, it's pretty damn spot on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Karmageddon thing is actually kind of genius. Karma.
And Armageddon put together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when I hear Carmageddon, I'm like, awesome, a destruction derby's in town.
Right.
Fun.
You would think that.
So wasn't that a video game?
Yeah.
Probably.
But it was spelled with a C.
Yes.
My head is really red tonight.
What do you guys last time for the Christmas special we kind of quickly talked about we watched the teaser trailer of Superman, and then the trailer came out I think the next day or the day after. What did you guys think of the actual trailer? Are you excited for Superman, or do you not care? Or do you like, are you indifferent, or like, is it something
I watched the premiere when it came out, just to see like people's reactions to it, and seeing how many people were hyped about it made me a little bit more hyped than I thought I was going to be. I don't mind his look as Superman, even though it to me still looks really weird. He looks weird as Superman. I find he's going to have to nail it, because we just literally got off Tyler Hoechlin probably doing the best portrayal of Superman we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And probably easily the best Lois. And it's, I don't want to say it gave me hope, because it's a cheesy ass thing to say, but I wasn't as worried about it before as I was with the screenshots and everything like that. And the fact that in this world, he's not the first superhero. He's coming in as the new kid on the block and changes everyone's world, like kind of like the inverted Kingdom Come storyline. Maybe this one will work. It looked weird, but the coloring was just so weird.
Yeah.
The choices that they made for color grading just look completely off. And him as Clark Kent makes me just laugh. It looks so dumb. And of all the Guy Gardner looks you went for, you had to go for the bolo cut.
Seriously, that was
Like,
the
dude,
thing that stuck out the most. Was
I have a
Nathan
theory
Fillion's
about that.
stupid freaking wig.
Guy Gardner is my favorite Green Lantern of all time. He's the best. You need to get someone like Bill Burr. He's an angry redhead.
I don't
Bill
care
Burr would have
how
been a
comic
better.
accurate it was. That looks freaking retarded.
There's some things that don't translate.
I have a theory about why they chose that bowl cut.
Right.
They won't have to pay a certain someone. What's it called? They won't have to give EVS kickbacks for using that version of Guy Gardner instead of the one that he made famous.
Oh, maybe.
For me, I honestly don't care. I never really cared. I'm as weird as it is in our kind of side of YouTube. I don't care about comics at all. I watch the movies. I will say what I think about the movies that have come out, but Superman never meant anything to me, really. I thought it was kind of cool as a kid, but the Christopher Reeve movies, I liked 1, and I think I liked 4, even though 4 was the goofiest one. But
Yeah.
the chick was kind of hot when I was younger. So
I think 3's the goofiest. He fights himself, and Richard Pryor's a scientist.
right, and you have what's her face get sucked into the machine and comes out as a cyborg kind of Brainiac type thing. But I honestly, what I'm getting at is I don't really care. The thing that I thought was probably stupid for James Gunn to do is, why would you go with a dark brooding type thing when the whole point is we're trying to get away from dark and brooding? Why do you have Superman getting beat up at the beginning? And I read the article where he was like, well, this is representation of America, and we've had some dark times and we're trying to turn it around, blah blah blah. It's like, why would you not just, your trailer for this movie should be nothing dark and brooding at all, because that's what you're supposedly going away from. We're not doing it's not a Batman movie. It's supposed to be a Superman movie. It should be uplifting and happy, not Superman gets his ass kicked right at the beginning of the trailer. That's the first thing we see of the new Superman.
For me, I'm kind of like Brahma, where I don't really have anything in it for Superman itself. That's whatever. But the trailer did intrigue me, and I will go see the movie. I just won't have any sort of expectation at all, positive or negative.
Yeah, I'll see it as homework, essentially.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing I think about. Most likely what's going to happen, it's probably going to be the best Superman film, and it's probably not even going to make its money back. That'll be what Warner Brothers deserve. That this will be the best movie that DC has produced in 25 years, and no one sees it,
because that's the only hope for their new DCU.
The trailer made me feel nothing, which was unfortunate. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like static.
Make you feel, I guess, is the question, because, like I said, they start off with, him getting his ass kicked.
That is weird. That was the first thing I noticed.
He's up in the snow, so I'm assuming he's at Solitude of Fortress, and he's doing some sort of training thing
that makes Superman bleed.
Yes,
sure.
Because how Superman's power works is his base strength, his total strength is based on his base strength. So when he's depowered and he's working out and does stuff like that, it does actually improve Superman's abilities later on.
How is he depowered?
He does that with. I don't know what run he's going to do, but there is a thing where he does training in the Fortress of Solitude.
Okay.
Just so his body gets used to doing things. Like where it would make sense if that's what they were doing. And he's done with it. He just wants to go back home, not to the fortress, but to home. So,
well, I think you could start the trailer off with him getting his ass kicked. I don't think that's my issue.
It was more so was the blood that most people had an issue with.
I don't even have a problem with that necessarily. I walk away from that trailer thinking I don't care. It doesn't seem like a Superman movie. It seems like a DC
movie.
Well, not even a cameo movie. I mean, I guess, yeah, but it's just like, to me, it's like it's a DC movie. Superman happens to be in it. And so I've never been a huge DC like super fan or anything like that. Like I've watched some of the older films, and I've watched Returns and all the other, up from that, and read some of the Superman comics, but like I just didn't feel anything in this. I didn't feel like, oh, like how did that happen? Like how do we get here? Like what's he gonna do? And that
who's his barber?
Right. Like I just like, so I was talking to someone about this the other day in Discord. Like one of the things that made the MCU great in the beginning was that you didn't need knowledge of Tony Stark and Iron Man, like to be a part of the story and to feel something for the character, right? And the movies that were really good, they all told the story of who they were. They told a story of who the superhero was, and then leading to a culmination in Avengers about how all of these personalities as a superhero and as a human or as a person, how they all mesh together or don't, as it were. But what DC keeps doing is they keep throwing a bunch of people into movies and you don't care who they are. This is who the person is. Like, we know who Superman is, but like, and you might know who Iron Man is prior to, actually seeing the movie, but it didn't matter because cinema is a different medium than comics. So, and this is the unfortunate part of this wasn't made for you. This is where it applies. The mediums don't transfer directly. So you're telling a story in a different medium that people aren't aware of. Now you got to tell the story as how do we care about this person in a 2.5 hour span or a 3 hour span without having to read.
Where DC screwed things up because they tried to jump into the Justice League before they actually properly introduced the rest.
But that's what they're going to do with this one too.
I think what James Gunn is going for here, and I may be completely off base, but based on what Grant said of, Superman is now being introduced into a world that already has some heroes. I think they're going to try to introduce Superman as the Boy Scout that pulls all the other heroes together. I think they will have the heroes in here, but they may not all necessarily have the same code that Superman lives by. And they're going to do something in this movie where he's the Boy Scout, and that's why he becomes the leader, not just because he's the strongest of all superheroes, but because he is the Boy Scout that has the unflinching, unwavering, we do what's right at all times. And that's how he's going to pull together all these other characters that they're introducing. I could be way off base.
Well, no, that's what they said.
Like.
That's what they said. Yeah.
That's good, but again,
also I can't wait to see how Park Kent dies again for the 19th time.
That's good, but if I'm looking at what worked, and we'll say in the MCU is the closest thing we have to pull from this, is that Captain America got his solo movie where he was the only superhero in that and had to prove himself like as an underdog, like he's the underdog, becomes a leader, blah, 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 blah. And because like, and that he becomes the leader of the Avengers, right? Like, so
phase one was all about transformation. Each one's was, right. So they had to go through a transformation. Thor had to learn how to, be normal. Tony Stark had to learn about, maybe not all weapons are good, except for the ones that I shoot at bad guys.
But it's also hard to compare the MCU and DC because DC had characters that everybody knew beforehand. We had already had multiple Superman movies. We had already had multiple Batman movies. They did do Wonder Woman as a solo. They did do Aquaman as a solo. It's different than what MCU did.
Because, both of those made $1 billion.
Right, but the MCU, you were introducing characters that had never been on any screen before, except for maybe animated.
But
Iron Man was not a major character. Thor, these are characters that people may have known about peripherally, but they did not know anything about them. So what MCU did was started there. DC started looking at it like, oh crap, we've got to catch up. But they already had established characters. The Trinity was already there.
Yeah, but again, the problem is not knowing who the characters are, like as a icon. It's what is this story that you're telling? And when you have 6 different people on screen or more that you're trying to have some sort of emotional gravitas for, it doesn't work without some sort of lead up. Again, the different phases of Marvel worked because each one was a different like arc for those characters. And the DCU or EU or whatever has tried to skip that both times now. Well, yeah, it seems like they're trying to skip that this time.
But as far as a new Superman movie, I'm perfectly fine with him not doing another freaking origin movie. I would like to see what James Gunn is doing to a degree, just because I don't want another Superman origin. I don't need an origin movie for any of these people anymore.
Hey, I think that I think the problem with them introducing multiple characters at once rather than the build-up is because it was a shit movie, rather than it being that idea, because if you look at movies like, I don't know, let's say Magnificent Seven, you had 7 characters that you introduced, but they all had their moments, and they all resonated with the audience. And I'm talking 1960s Magnificent Seven, even though I have no problem with the
Oh
other
wow, a bit
remake with
racist.
Denzel.
Wow, anti-Denzel.
Yeah, that one did the same thing. It introduced multiple characters. You see this in movies all the time. So saying that, oh well, it's because they didn't introduce them individually first before doing a team up, I don't think is.
It could happen. Yeah, you're right. It could happen because it has been done. But DC has proved
I think
they're incapable of doing it.
because they're incapable of doing a quality movie when you have people like Zack Snyder's doing your movie.
Right.
Yeah, maybe James Gunn will prove us wrong, and he'll be the savior for DC. It's very possible.
He introduced all of the Guardians in one movie.
Yeah,
and it was a great movie.
Second Suicide Squad that he did was good.
It was entertaining. Yes.
Well, second and third Guardians, I would say, was good.
Did he do Guardians too? Because that was not a good movie.
He did all of them. He did the full trilogy. It wasn't as good as one, but I mean, they weren't bad movies. None of the Guardians movies were bad.
Yeah.
Guardians 3 shocked me. I was not expecting a good film.
I hated a few things in there. The way Mantis was just like, I'm going to do something for me and not for you, like I've always done. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Ugh. I felt like it betrayed her character entirely.
I was just surprised they put something together that was interesting. I slept through Eternals and whatever else other crap was coming out at that point.
Yeah, Eternals was rough. That was really rough. Again, I don't know. I know you make a good point, Matt. I know it's been done. I know they can write multiple characters into a movie and we can care, but I don't know. The trailer to that didn't impress me. I wasn't impressed walking away from that trailer.
Nope.
So
no, it was so shocking to see Crypto, the dog, whatever the fucking dog's name, Cosmo, who knows? Anyway, I was like, oh, there's a dog in it, because it was so antithetical to the theme that was building up to that moment. It was very dark and very somber, and like, oh, he's just being, and to have a dog come up and grab him by the cape and drag him home was very. The shift in tone was a lot for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was sort of taken out at that moment.
Yep.
And then
Which was at the beginning.
Yeah. So like the rest of the thing, I'm like, okay, if that's setting the tone for this, I don't know.
Yeah, he was in it up until that point.
And maybe that's the point. Maybe he's trying to misdirect us in a way here, but I think it's a bold strategy because I walked away from that not really feeling anything. Like I don't have to go to the movies for this.
Nope.
So
well, that's because you're a cat person. You hate dogs, so
it's true. It's true.
It got me willing to spend the money to go. Now, when I go to the movie theaters, I only buy a ticket. I don't buy anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got me willing to go see it.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't like buying the ticket. I don't mind buying.
He doesn't buy the ticket. He just buys the food and sneaks in.
Because the popcorn and the other stuff actually goes to the people who work at the movie theater, whereas the ticket primarily just goes to the company that I don't like.
Very small percentage. That movie theaters don't make any money off of ticket sales. Right. It's all concession.
I know, that's what I'm saying. My local movie theater, I would rather buy the popcorn even though it's overpriced, and the drink even though it's overpriced, because that money is actually going to the theater.
Yep.
Depending on when this movie comes out, I might get popcorn just because I've had braces on for about 2 years and popcorn's not been an option.
No, it's a Mandela effect. You never did.
Oh,
technically, popcorn was always an option. It's just how much you want to screw up your braces. But
yeah, I hate that. I feel like I need to pick crap out of my mouth, out of my teeth all the time. No thanks.
Rocky McCobb says, to me, it felt like somebody almost nailing it. I'm guessing you're talking about the trailer. Yeah,
almost nailing it. Yeah,
almost.
It's going to be interesting to see James Gunn try to do a story that doesn't involve body snatching.
No, dude, it does.
That you know of.
Does it involve body snatching?
It will. It's a James Gunn film.
Yeah, it's like it's the Jags looks a little confused.
Yeah, I'm confused.
All right, every movie that James Gunn does, almost every movie has elements of body snatching. Whether it was Slither when they took over the people in that one, whether it was
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep. And then if you look at Peacemaker, the TV series,
TV
it was
series,
all about body snatching.
Yeah.
And then
Suicide Squad
with the
Yep.
Starro, all the stars taking
Body
over
snatching.
people's faces.
Yep.
Okay.
It is his one thing.
He loves
except for
it.
that, except for that one film where he couldn't do it because it was grounded. Super.
Yeah.
I want to know who.
But he
made this.
he had Rainn Wilson going around hitting people in the head with a wrench. So I think was that Kevin Bacon in that?
Wait, what movie was that?
Super.
Yeah, he
I
wants
know
to be a
who made this.
superhero, so he goes around with a wrench.
Jesus.
Did y'all see this?
Yeah.
What is this?
Oh shit! I just got it.
Oh. Okay, I finally get it. That's
Chauvin
and Floyd.
No, I couldn't remember the actor's name. That looks like him.
It's pretty fucked up.
Kang, the Conqueror. Is this?
No,
He was Kang's.
Oh, I guess he does kind of look like him. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
his nephew.
Mm-hmm.
Glad Flawed isn't here.
Have you guys seen that George Floyd AI Twitter account?
No.
They're putting out like full videos that George Floyd like came back as a Terminator.
Oh my god.
There was one that was an auto. It was an automatic bot response. Every time that you type something to it, it would just respond, "I can't breathe."
Fucked up.
Have y'all seen the like this chick will say, "Hey, what rhymes with this word like tree?"
Yep.
And then the response
As in,
sung.
I can't believe I fell out of a tree, and they turned it into a song.
Yeah, and it's always
The
George
music
Floyd. Yeah, George Floyd talking about
Yeah,
it's just
he need on my neck and now I can't breathe.
Shags, have you seen
it's-
the music chat channel on YouTube?
That's basically it. That's what we're talking about.
No.
Go to music chat and pull up, say, Holy and the Hole. We got to watch one of these if you've never seen one of these. They're freaking great.
Ken, I don't think all black people look the same, just the ones that do.
Holy and the Hole, HOLE.
The two sisters.
You'll love these.
Yeah.
The holy and the hole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's two twin sisters. One's a nun. One's
Chat.
Yeah. One's a sex worker.
Oh.
It's AI.
Oh.
AI songs generated from the comments from.
Oh,
TikTok
yes,
clips.
yes.
It's hilarious. I think Matt introduced me.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me.
Did Shags freeze up again, or is he just watching the video?
Oh.
His eyes moved. I think we're good.
Is there anything on the screen? Because I've got nothing.
I've got nothing.
I don't see anything either.
And Shags looks frozen again.
Uh-huh.
I think he makes me watching it. There he is.
There we
Okay.
are.
Maybe. Almost.
Hit play. This is the part where you hit play.
It's a sideways triangle.
Yeah. It looks like the thing that used to come on pizzas. But then every time you take a photo of it, people would think you were sending them a video. And they'll
All
try
right.
and hit play.
Am I
His
back?
net is dying.
We
think
can
you're
hear
back.
Yeah,
you
hit play.
now.
Hit play.
Oh god.
Shut it. The ears one was great too, and they did a Holy in the Hole part 2. But
No, dude, the best is when they do the rhyming thing. And
Yeah,
why
that
don't you
one's
have
good.
YouTube Premium? You cheap.
I'm poor.
Bro can smell colors.
Bro can smell colors, no breathing, no fine. Bro be making the trees work overtime. As Mike Tyson, this is why George Floyd died. You can see a reindeer float when you smell pie. He's the reason we can't breathe in space. Dr. Logan bro has a free AirPod case. If you sit in the same room as bro, you might suffocate. Bro can smell GTA 6 release dates. For a deep breath. Bro doesn't score a line, he scores a paragraph. I can see your child is increasing up back. Leave us some air, bro, you need to be paying your tax. Water, I want air, I know. So smells like AK Ultra AC mode. When Martin Bro is cooked, bro, I saw your frontal lobe. What season we cook can cause a hurricane with that nose. And that doesn't need to minimize the enter, bro. Bro uses a shovel to pick his nose.
Oh my God,
Bro is white on the inside. It smells sound, bro, can smell cookies from websites. Can smell people's dreams. Bro can smell us through the screen. Bro can smell colors, bro breathing no fire. Bro be making the trees work overtime. That's Mike
Wow.
Tyson, this is why George Floyd died. You can see a brain default when you smell pie. Smell colors,
Now
bro
he's repeating.
breathing no fire. Bro be making the trees
Music
work
chat's getting
overtime. That's
lazy.
Mike Tyson, this is why George Floyd died.
I still think the best part in that was he doesn't do lines, he does paragraphs.
That was
Yeah.
that's a good
This
line.
one's great. Bro can hear the earth move.
Dude, you gotta do one. You gotta do one of the rhyming ones, man. Those are way better.
The
Way better.
rhyming ones?
Yeah,
Yeah, just
where-
go to the channel and there's a
the-
chick. Go ahead, man.
yeah. There's a chick, and she'll hold up a sign, and she'll be like, "Okay, what rhymes with
Oh, dude.
leaves?"
I've seen this one. Bro got 5% right. I've seen this one.
The Holy in the Hole is my favorite, though. That one is so good.
If you look for the one that what rhymes with even, that's probably the most popular one.
Yep.
Yeah, this one's funny too.
Stealing.
Chocolate after I leave it in the fridge for a while. 2% safe from carbs. My hands are.
What?
I think he's laughing.
And
too
he's
loud.
dead.
I think somebody came in and told him to stop laughing. You know how women are about that joy.
I know.
Shag's whole internet went down.
He paused it.
Which is a weird choice if he's having a conversation.
Yeah.
Just mute. Don't
Maybe he
pause the
really doesn't want
video.
to.
He didn't want to miss anything.
He doesn't want to miss a second. And this is the one he said he's seen.
Oh, remind me, I gotta share a song with you, Grant, about the 1953 Greada Treaty that I wrote.
Yeah, there's not enough songs written about that, if I'm
No,
being
there's-
honest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's a guy named him.
It is a good one.
Mhm.
I am addicted to Suno.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
It
But
really is.
on the plus side, Udio's getting really jealous, so they're starting to offer me like a bunch of free, like really good discounts. So
Oh,
I'm just
yeah?
gonna wait for them to have something like good when they bring out their version 2 or whatever it is, and then I'll jump over there for a bit, and then play them against each other.
Shags is obviously doing things while also obviously in a conversation.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Which one am I supposed to be looking for?
Anyone with a chick who holds up a sign that says rhymes with, like
Yeah.
rhymes with bar, rhymes with,
Or the one that's in the private chat.
or you can go with the one that Mad put in the private chat.
Yep.
I don't see anything that Mad put in the private chat. I see
I got it.
Grant Gregory's.
We're one and the same.
That's not my.
I just had
understanding of
one
how
that
it
was
works.
just the original one. Is he there, or what's going on?
I'm here.
He's getting it. What rhymes with even?
What rhymes with even? As in, I don't get mad, I get even.
Oh, wait, someone's done a re-edit. No, not that one. It's the
No,
one
not that
underneath
one.
it. Is the better
This
one.
is version
No.
2.0.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
go
this
to the one
one.
underneath it. Someone's just reworded it and tried to.
Put your own
steal the
music
limelight.
to it instead of the usual.
It's the
chat
more
music.
epic, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put the actual one underneath it. Is he going again?
Nope, I'm here.
Okay.
As
There it is.
I don't get mad, I get even.
I drench my grandma in secret. Watch me before I got beaten. Once a kid enters my basement, he ain't leaving. For the towers ain't steering. The planes inside the towers are leaving. Both towers are now leaving. I'm in love with a girl in Thailand, but she turned out to be Steven. I'm so yeah, they stopped me from breathing.
Illustrate something. What rhymes with even?
That was a short one though.
It was a short one. God damn it.
Well, you're playing the short. You're not playing the full video.
Yeah, but the shorts, when they come out, shorts are 3 minutes now. I've seen the.
Yeah, they did extend the shorts.
Apparently,
Timeline.
they didn't care to do it for this video.
Hold on.
Yeah, so if you just go to the channel that did that, they've got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, you
They're
might
in
as
it.
well just sub.
Yeah. You're going to binge them later on anyway.
Yeah.
And now that you've listened to one of them, they're going to appear in all your shorts on all your channels.
Oh yes.
So
They
Over
sure
and
are.
Over and over. Just today or yesterday, they released a Holy in the Hole Part 2.
I've seen these. I'll be honest, I don't like the singing ones that they're doing. A lot of my my Instagram like Reels feed is like it'll like show whatever at the beginning of a video, and then it cuts to them being like it's like a whistling like funny little jingle, and it just pops up like all the best comments under them, which I find it to be much funnier. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's all.
I should expect such a poor comment from someone who scrolls on Instagram.
Right? That was
Instagram.
As soon as he said, "Oh, on Insta," I was like, "All right, well, I can ignore everything that
I'm
comes
out.
after this."
I said no such thing. I did not say Insta.
Said it with your heart.
Instagram.
I was on Facebook Reels the other day, and I was just like, "Oh Jesus!"
I also hang out on TikTok trying to get into arguments.
I love it.
With children.
With just
Shags is basically Chinese at this point.
That's right. I mean, that's just what I want to be when I grow up, a Chinaman.
I don't think that's the
ching-chong
preferred
Chinaman.
nomenclature, dude.
Not talking about the guy who's built the fucking railroads.
Yeah, isn't it Chinese? Right?
Chinese?
Oh man, yeah. I need to get off of YouTube. Stop. Well,
that was fun.
Are you
I'm
on
glad I could make
Instagram
it.
now? Is that why your computer's been crashing because you've been on Instagram the whole time?
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Now I'm on Wi-Fi. Sucks
Why?
because I don't have a 150-foot cable to run from my modem.
You can
down
actually
here.
get those.
Make one?
Why? Why don't you?
I don't know. When do you guys come install it for me? Okay.
Install it.
Well,
you just drag it across the house.
Literally, go buy a reel and then buy two
You know
connectors.
those clips on the end of them? They actually plug into the two main ports. You don't really need to install them. You just clip them in.
And then look up a YouTube video of how to
No, you don't even have
do
to
the
do that.
wire.
No, you just warn them like I did. I'm like, hey, Shredda, when you come out this door, make sure you don't trip on the 2 cables that are in front of the door. Now she
yeah,
does
that's
it
what I'm saying.
constantly, but she was warned.
Yeah.
So legally, I'm in the clear.
That's what I'm doing now, Soul Assassin. That's why I disappear every now and then.
I keep changing up the password.
Yeah, right. What is it? This guy must be live again. We can't watch our Netflix.
You can watch it in 240p and be happy with it.
Yeah.
Well,
they couldn't watch it in 4K if there's a woman in the house anyway.
True.
If I would have known about this earlier, I would have been here on time, but I didn't know about it.
Oh, you knew about it. I texted you. The fact that you were not awake does not mean that you're absolved for not knowing about it.
It does, but I'm gonna head out. Y'all gonna shut down, right?
Yeah, I think we're pretty close, right?
Yeah, I think we're
3 hours and 30 minutes.
Yep.
We said we're not going to go overboard with the new show.
Oh man. Well, last week was it 5.5 hours or something like that, or 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Yeah, it was very, very long. So
Yeah,
Well, that was a reunion. That made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a special.
My
That was
knowledge,
like
my knowledge
Sonny
of
and Cher.
when you do reunion shows, they're usually like really short and filled with a lot of commercials. So it's
Yeah.
like the opposite.
No one watches.
No commercials, and we just talked for hours and hours.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's
Vlog will
better
be here
than
next week,
articles and
so-
shit and just
There was a lot
just
of
shooting the
racism.
shit.
Yep. A lot of catching up, but yeah.
I was
once
called
we
the
get back
N-word
in the
4
flow-
times.
What's that?
I was called the N-word 4 times.
Yeah, I wasn't at all, which was awesome.
They know better. I'm a skinhead.
But we found out that Jesse is like 1/32 black, and he holds that really, really hard to his heart. So.
Well, only when his mother decides that she's
So
black
yeah,
for 5 to
for me,
10
that
minutes.
was the funniest thing. It's like, well, she wakes up and sometimes she's
I know.
Chinese. I'm like, that's not how it works.
Yeah. But, yeah, next we're gonna get back into the swing of things. We'll get the regular peeps. We have a new intro coming, and I don't know. I mean, it's just gonna be fun. You guys have been everyone who's been here, or who is here now, has been to this show before. This will probably be, I mean, like the usual suspects. Jesse was out tonight because he wasn't feeling very good. He's been celebrating the new year. Couldn't hold his liquor, so maybe I don't know. Don't. But
Nobody passes out like this
yeah, that was
unless
impressive.
they've got liquor.
Did that happen? Did that happen
That's,
live?
that's not even the worst picture I got.
Yeah. Oh, it did. Yeah.
Oh,
He was-
Grant, just bring up
Oh,
some of the photos real quick.
That's beautiful.
Jesse didn't show up tonight. I mean, he gets roasted, right?
Yeah.
I'll show one. Another one.
Okay.
Give me a second. I just got to find where I stored them all.
When I saw the picture, I just thought, wow, it's not even $5 Fridays. Like it
It's
was
just
a
a
Monday.
weekday.
Yeah.
That was the
It's
most
just-
important day of your life, but for me, it was a Tuesday.
Oh, here we go. Here's one. That's normal.
I didn't see that one. The hat fell off and his head came off
So-
the microphone.
Glasses are gone.
Yeah. His head was leaning against the microphone. As he slowly slipped down, the hat was touching the top of it. So the hat just got slowly pulled off.
I've never seen him with the hat off, so it's always on, but it didn't make it
Yeah,
on.
people forget how small his eyes are and close together. Those glasses really do a lot of work for him.
Oh
he had a
man,
fun
that's
night.
funny. Yeah, so 2025, y'all, we're back. Midweek Hump is back Wednesdays, 8:30, and we're having fun. And we get,
I
you know,
think I could commit to at least every other Tuesday or every other Wednesday because of the Christian panel thing. So
don't come Tuesday, we won't be here.
I will not.
But hey,
Mrs. Common Nerd. He's still out like the light.
I thought I saw him in the chat.
I love it.
No, he was in the chat earlier.
Yeah, he was here earlier.
His avatar.
Jose, what was I saying?
How the new show is going to go?
Yeah, I mean, just similar
We'll be
format.
here.
We have the usual suspects here where we're gonna find our core group over the next couple of weeks, but we had such great chemistry with the guys last week that we're trying to rally who we can. Everyone's busy though. I know Flaud's going to be here next week, hanging with us. Jesse will probably be back at that point. Nogreenrocks might join as well. But
And the second Lofty lifts his crazy head up in YouTube or the world again, we'll suck him right back in.
I hope Lofty's all right. I haven't seen him for a while.
I love Lofty. He's playing video games. I see him on my Steam, but he's
Yeah, me
I
too.
know he wants to he wanted to decompress for a while and he was working on his own stuff, and I hope he is doing it, and I hope he's having fun. We miss him though on the internet. So Lofty, if you hear this, come back to the dark side.
Lofty, can you hear me?
We do have a meme. Oh, looks like we have a couple of
Mrs. Common Nerd. He'll be fine. He needs to learn moderation.
Yes. Yes. Thank you,
Me
Grant.
too.
I didn't even see those. Where is my presentation? Show memes. Okay.
We're working on it.
Catfish King. Yep. I think that's right. That looks like
That's just unnecessary.
I'm glad core member is still up to no good. See, I like this. I think this looks good. Mine looks creepy.
I'm glad that this version, compared to the last year's version, I at least don't have a hand that disappears. Yeah, Shag's doing the Macarena slightly.
I take it
And
back.
Mad
This is
on his
creepier.
boat.
Oh, sorry, that's real footage. I meant to put the AI one in.
Nice. We got to get the Legion of Memers back. Where did they go? No Green Rocks. What
Well,
happened
Green
to them?
Rocks will be here every now and then too.
Yeah. All right. You guys got anything coming up? Anything big?
Yep. Let me mention it. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, no, I just released another video on my series, ruining your favorite TV shows and movies with AI. So this one I decided to tackle the finale of season 3 of From. So.
Oh, don't do that.
It's not hard
So I
to
did
ruin
the
that.
first episode I did was The Sopranos. People seem to like that one, so I can't post a link in the chat because I'm not a moderator for some reason. So
You're not?
I'm not.
Wah wah. While you're doing that, Saturday nights I've got Bourbon and Boarding. Sunday mornings I've got The Bullpen, which is the political show with me and Little Chad. That is kind of my channel's flagship show. So come check it out if you like listening to me talk about politics, which I don't really do on Sunday because Chad's like a wind-up toy. You just ask a question and he will talk for 20 minutes. So it's a fun show, though. I think most people that have been checking it out have liked it. So that's what I've got going on, along with the
I
usual
enjoy it.
comics division stuff.
Yeah, tomorrow night I've got the weekend pregame where we are going to discuss self-checkout lanes and whatever other weird, cringy internet stuff I have found over the last week. And then Saturday, you will find me on the Renaissance Nerds channel for Saturday Night Drive-In, where we will be discussing the movie Hook. And then shortly after that, I will be on the RNG podcast with Carl of the RNG podcast doing his show. I have no idea what he has planned for that, but going to be talking about whatever he's got going on. Lots of weird Rumble shenanigans, I guess. And then Monday for Monday Night Bloodbath, which is my political show, and we're going to probably talk about these. Well, I'm going to just call them terrorist attacks. Every last one of them.
I would too.
Grant, I made you a mod.
We'll have to do a crossover.
Oh, you did? Okay, it hasn't come up yet.
What was that, Mama?
We'll have to do a crossover at some point.
We will.
Oh, there it goes. I have the power. It's not banning people now.
Yeah, Grant can now link his own channel.
Nice. Oh, I don't have anything big coming up. This is like my main focus again. Making this the very best I can. I have a few ideas, like production value wise, that I want to work on. It just started today, but it's going to take a little time to work out the kinks a little bit. But I do at the end of the day. I miss doing the show. I just needed, I think, a nice long break and just to kind of find the roots again. And I'm bummed that we can't have the whole OG cast, but everyone's doing like a lot of awesome stuff on their own. So it's really good to see everyone growing and doing their things, kind of going in their directions, which you can't ask for more than that for people to grow. So while we started in one place, we'll continue in another. So yeah, we're gonna put some more production value into this the most we can.
But we will not have topics. We just
this is a talk
fly
about
by the
stuff.
seat of our pants all night.
No topics, no articles, no structure, but production value. That's just it.
It truly is. We just all are like, hey, did you guys see this? And then we talk about it for like 45 minutes. No, there was nothing discussed beforehand.
I mean, honestly, as I said earlier, it seems to be for this show the very best. Every single show that we've done in that way usually turns out great.
I mean, shit. We went from terrorist attacks to insurance to
space travel,
space travel, and
civilizations,
butterfly effect ending movies.
Yep, the Mandela effect. I mean, we were kind of all over the board tonight again.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm impressed at how well we sort of like connect everything.
Just branch out into absolute insanity from one sentence. Yeah.
Yep. I will be. The one thing you can do is my gaming stuff is continuing Twitch and Rumble. I've been playing a massive amount of Path of Exile 2, and it is great. Even in its current form, it's better than anything that Diablo has put out over the past since 2 easily. And it's still
It reminds me a lot of Diablo 2.
Yeah, it's
That's
great.
what the plan was.
I'm somehow at 108 hours.
Oh, I'm at like 160.
Noob.
I have 2 characters on an endgame, so it's like I
haven't gotten one to endgame yet.
I haven't touched it yet, but I'm at Prestige 7, level 39 on Black Ops.
They're right. We all have our games right now, but I'm trying to make Path of Exile 2 like
I'm a pro Minesweeper at the moment.
Oh, you know what I'm stuck on right now? That like I am mad I even bought
Brotato.
No, Balatro.
Oh.
That game,
Oh, yeah.
It is so good. It is like so I'm a
really
big
good.
roguelike fan. I love roguelikes. And the fact that they took poker and made it into a roguelike is amazing. Like it's like everything I've wanted in a game. Highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And you can play it on mobile, on PC. It's fun time waster.
I'm buying it right now. I've heard so much about this game.
It's really good.
I know
Me and my daughter finally 100%ed Astrobot.
I got that for my son, so I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, I get stuck on so many levels, and she's 5, and she ends up doing them. Like I look over it. I said, "Are you Asian?" She went, "No, I'm sorry."
But yeah, overall, I think in the long run, I want PoE 2 to be my like game that I learn and understand and like put content out for, because it's like it's such a cool game, and I'm really starting to understand the intricacies of the system. You know, like the campaign of the game is like the tutorial. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, a lot like.
So it's in early access. How complete would you say it is at this point? I mean, is it a fully functional game?
It is totally a fully functional game.
It's free also.
What's that?
No, it's $29.99.
It's
for
$30
early access
right now to play.
What?
Early access.
I just got it. Literally, I just downloaded it for free.
Aussie bitch.
The first.
Well, Path of Exile,
Nice.
the first one is free. Path of
No,
Exile,
not the first one. The second one.
well, you're lucky then. You're a lucky guy.
This guy's cheating. He's got cheat cards.
Oh God, Steve. Excuse me.
Bless you.
As of right now, you have half the campaign that you can play. So you play through it normal, then you play through it on cruel difficulty, and then it brings you to your end game content, which is like, it's like mapping. So you go to different maps that have different modifiers to make the mobs more difficult, more loot, all that stuff. So the campaign that you're doing is teaching you how to build your character, to build, you know, to build it up to where it can survive into the later game. Shows you how you can do that, and familiarize yourself with the systems. Once you get to end game, then you start going against higher level mobs. You need to understand your resistances more, and then even the second half of the end game that they have like requires another level of like learning. So, and there's even the skills, like there's about, I want to say there's probably half or 3/4 of the skill gems that are going to be in the game that are in right now.
Yeah.
And only half the classes. So you have 6 classes, there's going to be 12. So there's a lot to learn, but there's a lot to play right now there's a lot to play right now and learn, and a lot more like as the months go on. Yeah.
And they're adding 3 more acts to the main story.
Yep, you'll have 6 at the end. It's great, man. I'm very impressed, and I've said a couple times that developers should be following what Grinding Gear Games has done in early access, as far as like, you know, their development state, how they've released the game. There's games that never get released that's not nearly as complete as what we're seeing here.
Yeah, Grums.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Shags froze.
No, Grum's got him.
Grum's got him. Shags froze. We already did our outros, so I'm not sure what we're doing anymore.
Yeah, so in the email it says Path of Exile is free for those who have spent large amounts of money in the first game. I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense.
Oh, have you played a lot of Path of Exile?
Yeah, I went into debt because of it. That's why I haven't got. That's why I didn't want to do the second one.
I went into debt because of it.
Oh man. Good night, Cream NATO. Thanks for hanging out, brother.
Night.
All right.
Good night.
I think it's time that we all say our
All right,
goodbye.
bye.
Follow all these men, alleged men. We'll be back next week. Flawed will be joining us. Hopefully, Nogreenrocks. It's time for us to hit the hay. We're out of here. Go find your next amazing streamer. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to 2025. See y'all later.
Let's go.
See you.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
I like to put stuff online.